wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry in. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey, everybody. Welcome, and happy Tuesday. It's your boy, Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show where we basically get into all the things going on in celebrity news, hot topics, anything that's going on in entertainment. We talk about it on this here show. So, before we get started, please do me a solid and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And we got a lot of tea to spill today. A whole off background. Maybe. Could be not, who to say. Damn, I forgot to send the link and stuff to the Twitter. I probably have to do that after the show if people want to catch it later, because usually I do it beforehand. But I was scrambling trying to put this show together because I was busy on the phone for hours talking to a friend of mine. Well, I'll tell you about what in a minute, but um we got a lot of tea to spill. So apparently, Armon Wiggins announced his retirement from gossip. So we got to talk about that because, with the whole thing with TGIF and all the other stuff going on, we got to talk about that. Plus, another YouTuber, Chris Stuckmann, who has been under some controversy as of late, and I'll explain to it in case y'all haven't been following it, finally has distribution for his long-awaited horror film called Shelby Oaks. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Halle Berry has exited Ryan Murphy's Hulu legal drama that was starring Kim Kardashian. I'm going to weigh in on that. Madonna, oh my gosh, I think I put the Halle Berry story twice. I had to delete that. Madonna has revealed the title of her upcoming biopic. She's back at work on it. She's doing some rewrites and things of that nature. So yeah, the biopic is back on. But I think we kind of knew that for a while with the whole biopic situation, that she was already hard at work on it right after the damn celebration tour. So we'll talk about that. Plus, Tyler Perry, and I'm not surprised by this at all, has received 0% on his latest film via Rotten Tomatoes. So we're gonna talk about, is it really that bad? But hello, it's Tyler Perry. Was y'all really expecting like Academy Award winning writing, directing, acting, all of those things? He's going to give you what he's going to give you, which is the bare minimum. And y'all going to eat it up like it's the latest filet mignon. So now we got that. Plus, Jack Black is trying to clean up some stuff that his Tenacious D partner, Kyle Gass, had did. Apparently, he made a Trump comment that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. A lot of these Democrats are running scared, per usual, including the Democrats, where they sitting there like, oh, yeah, well, because of this little this little situation that happened. And I'm gonna get my thoughts on it because now I'm really starting to think that this shit was a setup. This whole Trump assassination attempt. I'm really starting to think that this was some wag the dog plan type stuff to get his base riled up, and y'all just eating it up. Like these people that just lack common sense, the people that actually lack critical thinking skills. Y'all just sitting here believing this bullshit with this man. This man will do anything to maintain any kind of power because it makes his dick seem bigger than what it is. So we're going to talk about the whole Tenacious D drama. Plus, Bhad Bhabie is revealing how much money she made by getting up on OnlyFans. And it's kind of reminding me of this situation of like the whole Austin Wolf thing. Because it was like she joined OnlyFans the second she turned 18. And the amount of people that just jumped on that, it's giving me like the whole Austin Wolf older man, young underage, or not, she's not even underage. She was of legal age. So that whole thing, it's just giving me the ick. But do you, sis? You made your coins, and now she a baby mama getting her ass beat by a black boyfriend. So now we got that. We're going to talk about this whole Alec Baldwin Russ trial because I was going to talk about it yesterday, but I didn't really have enough information. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, looks like Irv Gotti is the latest to be accused of SA. So we're going to talk about that. Speaking of SA, Armie Hammer says being canceled after those SA allegations made against him is apparently liberating. And he's talking about, him being broke and all this other stuff. So he went on Bill Maher's podcast and basically just spilled some tea. Julia Fox says that she left an upcoming film because one of the directors was a racist. Whoopi Goldberg is revealing what she did with her mother's ashes. Y'all go to Disneyland, you might feel her mother's essence there. And we gotta talk about this interview that popped off last night from Elliott with two T's. Now I told y'all that interview was coming. I gave y'all the exclusive before it even happened. So the interview dropped yesterday on Joseph Shepard's show. I mean, his channel. And Elliott basically, Elliott was put through the ringer. And we're gonna talk about it. We got clips and all that other stuff. So be sure to tune in for that. There's not a lot of LGBT news going on. I mean, except Trixie Mattel finally taking her 3-month break, which I told y'all that was coming. So we have that and a whole lot more. But yes, before we get to all those topics, please do me a solid, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. So I was like, let me hit my banner. I hope that's in the article because I didn't watch the interview and I didn't read the article all the way through. So hopefully that's there. And if it's not, then you can elaborate more on the whole grinder thing. You said, is that yeah, so could be not. Weird. Okay, so let's get into the first topic and let's talk about Armon Wiggins, who announced his retirement yesterday. So, a friend of mine hit me up. We have a group chat and all the other stuff. He hit me up and basically, um, sent me this clip about, he said, I know you live, but you need to see this clip. And it was basically a clip of Armon Wiggins basically saying that he's stepping away from the whole gossip world space because it's been pretty toxic for him. And I understand, like, he's young, he's in his, mid to late 30s. He did jump into this whole YouTube blogger entertainment space pretty quickly, and then the entertainment, the success and the money and all the other stuff came in, the fame, money, success, fame, and glamour all came in rather quickly. And with him becoming friends with a lot of people from like Cardi B on to his interactions with Tasha K and Jason Lee, and then of course most recently TGIF, I feel like maybe he's feeling this way because he's been burned by so many people and there's been so much drama and so much negativity that has come through with him being in this whole YouTube blogger space. But I'll say for me, this isn't something, or maybe some of y'all just new to me today. How you doing? But I've been doing this whole YouTube, well, not the YouTube thing, I've been doing for about 3 years consistently. I've been in the entertainment news gossip space. I tell you, 2026 will make 20 years. So I've been doing this since I was a kid, where even in school, I was writing gossip and stuff in the papers. Um, I was basically like when I worked at AMC, I used to refer to myself, and they used to agree, I was the TMZ of AMC. So whenever the gossip that was going on with people that I worked with, I knew the tea, and I was telling people. So this whole gossip thing is not just some little hobby that I just jumped on. It's something that has always been in my blood, because of I love entertainment, the industry. I love entertainment news. I like gossip. I like all the stuff that goes on, the behind the scenes, the movers, the shakers, the messiness, all of that stuff. And what I always try to do with this show is, yeah, I can spill the tea and be messy and stuff, but I also try to bring a level of nuance to it as well. Like, I always try to see different sides of it. I'm not just going to come on here and just say stuff to be controversial just so that way I can get clicks and likes, which I already know, like this whole algorithm thing. And he talks about it in the clip I'm about to show y'all, that it's like, you at a certain point, it's like, yeah, you do it for fun. And he compared himself to Cardi B in a way. It's like with Cardi B, she got into the music because it was a fun thing, but then it didn't become fun no more because of the negativity and the outside noise. And what you have to understand is, when you get into this space or any kind of space where you're going to put yourself out there on the forefront, that you have to know that you're going to have people that are going to go against things you're going to say. You're going to have you're going to get negativity from people, as long as you know who you are at the end of the day. And that's why I feel like I can move in this space. And it took me a long time to get there, because I feel like I can relate to him in a lot of ways, because I did struggle at some points where it was like fear of success, fear of all the other things, because I wasn't ready to deal with all that. Now that I'm older, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to say what I want to say. I'm going to stand 10 toes down in my opinion, and we can agree to disagree as long as everybody comes from a respectful place. Now, there are, me doing this and seeing like how the channel has, and I think once I became once I finally just let go and let God, as they say, and just released, relaxed, related, and released. Shout out to A Different World. So once I did all of that and just let all the other stuff go and not try to control everything, I feel like that's when the channel started to grow. All the opportunities and all the things are starting to come in. And now that I've opened myself up for that, I'm leaving myself open to like, okay, now if um people want to collaborate on things or people want to book me for events and things of that nature, then I'm leaving myself open to that. So as long as you know, as I always say, as long as you know what you're in this whole situation for, then I feel like can't nobody tell you nothing. And if you don't feel like this was something that you were hungry for, that this was just something cute that you jumped on, then you get in what you put, you get back what you put out. And I feel like Armon really wasn't that hungry for this sort of thing. He was just loving the success and the fame and all the other stuff that was coming with it. And now that, you know, it's all that negative noise and that energy and just coming straight off of the drama that happened with TGIF. Now he's like, oh, I don't want to be a part of this situation no more. So I'm gonna play out this clip of him announcing that he's breaking free because he said that when he got into this, he didn't want it to feel like a 9 to 5, and now it's feeling like a chore. It's feeling like a 9 to 5. And I feel like you just gotta have a passion. If you have a passion for something, then go for it. And if the passion isn't there, then leave it alone and move on to something else. He probably, wants to do music and all these other things, but people aren't taking him seriously because he plays in the whole gossip space. But I'm like, why would that even be a hinder to the things that you want to do? So hopefully we don't get any ad interruptions, because the irritation that I have about a lot of these certain channels, they want to put ads up in their shit every 5 minutes, and it's an irritation. So hopefully, as I'm playing this clip, we won't have no issues. But if we do, we'll just power through it. Please hold.
We got to get into some things today, okay? So I was watching this video by Hines over on YouTube. He's a dope YouTuber. I believe he's like a motivational speaker, self-development kind of coach, super dope, super fly, makes great content. And he was doing a video talking about how content creating is the new 9 to 5 trap, and pretty much how to break free and how to get out of that. And when I was watching the video, I was like so inspired. And also, I couldn't help but like to honestly see myself in everything that he talked about. And so I just felt compelled to talk about it here today. And I kind of want to give you guys some tips that I think will work and some things that I'm doing to break out of that content creation 9 to 5 trap. So a little bit about me. I was a celebrity news gossiper here on YouTube first. I talked about pop culture, mainly female rap, the drama, the beef, all of those things. And prior to that, I used to be on Facebook before I got to YouTube. And I would talk about LGBT, like hot topic gossip that happened within the community. And it was just very controversial. And then one day someone said, hey, you should get on YouTube. And so, I got on YouTube and I started doing music reviews and like reality TV show reviews, but they kept like flagging my profile. And so I couldn't monetize it at all. And so then I started tapping into like a female rap niche, and we started talking a lot about music and, specifically Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, and their rap beef and how it all ignited. And it just kind of gained wings from there. And I gained a lot of followers, a lot of.
I heard about Brandy first when I was in 7th grade.
The reason why I liked it, because everyone else liked
support, and a lot of people started following me because of that. And with that, I gained a lot of attention via social media, blogs, write-ups, publications. I gained so much from that. Even though that was not my passion, but it gave me a lot of attention. And with attention, it made me a lot of money. So I did it for a long time, 5-6 years straight. But it wasn't up until recently where I had really decided that I was going to make the shift and break out. But I just want to, before we get into the why and the reason, I want to get a little bit more into, what that space looked like for me. For a long time, I didn't want to be a 9-to-5 YouTuber. I mean, a 9-to-5 employee worker at all. So I always was like, what can I do to get out of the workplace and do something else where I have time to be with my family, I have time to be with my friends, I have time to just do me and make more money. And so, I decided to get on YouTube. And, for a minute it was tough, but then it started really taking off. And I got locked in there doing the gossip. And everybody knows gossip gets you a lot of attention. It gets you a lot of clicks. It gets you a lot of views, which means gets you a lot of money. But on the flip side of it, it was one of those things that it comes with a lot of drama, comes with a lot of antagonists. It comes with a lot of negative and low vibrational energy. It comes with a lot of people trolling you. It just comes with a lot of angst. And it's not really healthy, and it's not really good for your mental. And it's not, while it's great for your pockets, it doesn't really feel good to be famous or popular because of controversy or drama or people hating you. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you want to be in a place of light and love, or, you feel like, hey, I'm a cool person. I look at me, I'm like, I'm just as lit as these celebrities could be. You know what I'm saying? So for me to sit and talk about someone else's life all the time, what does that say about me? And how do I really feel about myself? And so for a while, I battled with this idea of stopping and starting and stopping and starting. But every time I would stop, I would say, oh, well, or I'd have somebody else tell me, hey, you're almost at 100,000 subscribers. You can't stop now. Don't stop doing what works for you. And then I'd have in the back of my mind, well, you need that money. You need the money. And so I would keep going. I remember when I was going to hit 100,000 subscribers, that was going to be when I was going to stop and do something different. Then I tried to do something different, but the views when I did something different lacked. I didn't get the numbers. I didn't get the views. Nobody watched. No one cared. So I fell back into what I didn't want to do. I fell back into the gossip. I fell back into the commentary. I fell back into the blog posts and, the controversy and the beefs and all of these things. I literally did that. And I got bigger and bigger, more subscribers. However, I also know it came with a lot of drama, personal life. It came with building a lot of enemies. And the biggest thing, I didn't love this. Like, I didn't love to do it. It started to feel like a 9-to-5 job. I remember when I was doing early on, I would get new intros, backgrounds, sets, and I'd come up with game shows. I'd do this. I'd have competitions. I'd have private lives and members only. I would be doing so many different things because I still was excited for every metric that I was meeting and making. And eventually, the thirst of it all and the attention of it all, and then the demand from the people, it started making me feel like, wow, I don't like this.
Okay, so I'm gonna just pause it there because I just feel like I just know another damn ad is coming that's gonna work my root canal nerve. So if y'all want to watch the full thing, it is on his YouTube channel. I think it's about a 30-minute video. I did not want to play the whole thing, but I just wanted to give y'all enough of a taste of what he was doing. And I feel like there is the problem. And I said that before I even played the clip. This was not his passion. The thing with him and versus other people, and this is why I always say those of us who last, like myself, Perez Hilton, whether you like him or not, he's still around. He's been around just about as long as I have, if not longer, because I think he's been doing his for over 20 years. I started maybe a year or two after him. I started with a whole block. Like, there are people who hit me up on Facebook, was like, when people try to discredit me and all this other stuff, it's like, I remember when you had a blog spot. I was like, yes, I started out doing a blog spot. It was free. Then I went and I launched a website, chrisavalon.com, which I'm still mad that I didn't keep that up because I had an exclusive interview with Bob the Drag Queen on there, and that interview is gone. So I don't have that no more. And other exclusive interviews that I had with other celebrities and stuff. And I lost all of that stuff because I didn't keep up with that website. And I feel like maybe that was also partially my fault because back then I didn't really take it as seriously as I should have. But now I feel like within the last 3 or 4 years, I've really been like, you know what, I'm at a place in my life where I'm comfortable enough to be true to this shit and take this thing seriously. It's like, yeah, I love the entertainment industry. I love Hollywood and stuff. And you got into it for the wrong reasons. And I always feel like those people who don't last, and that is exactly why they don't last, is because they don't have a hunger. You got into it because it got you fast money. It got you fast fame. And you liked all that stuff. And you know, when you're young, that's something that, or youngish, you can kind of, that's what you salivate at. But when you get older, and Armon is on the later side of 30, I think he's like 35, 36, so he's getting towards 40. Those are the type of, that's around the time when you really start to get within yourself. You start to really take a moment, look at yourself in the mirror, and you want to be like, you know what? Is this something that I want to do? I don't feel fulfilled enough. And it's just like him going through so much stuff where, like, you know, I think from the issues he had, the beefs, you know, the drama he had with Tasha K, the drama he's had with Jason Lee, where he burned his book on his channel. And, you know, when they were supposed to do a show together, or Jason Lee was going to give him an opportunity to have a show over on his channel, and all the whatever, you know, the whatever drama that they had, he explains on his channel back in the day, you know, that probably burns him. And then he went and was like, you know what, I'm going to give it another chance with the whole TGIF thing. And he ain't even last 6 damn months before they wound up canceling that because it was just too much drama and stuff. And so it's like, yeah, I really feel like any future content creators, because I really had to have this conversation with myself before I decided to jump on social media and really do this thing. Even when I was doing my show where I had a producer, and now when I got to a point of actually sitting down and doing the show on my own, I really had to be like sit and have a moment with myself and put on all the money that I've been putting into it, between, you know, the streaming, the camera, the lights, the mics, all of the other stuff. When you invest in yourself, I really had to sit with myself and think, is this something that I really want to pursue? Is this something that I really want to take on and do? And I it was obviously a yes, because you have to weigh the pros and the cons. And the pros were, is I love running my mouth, which is why these episodes be longer than what they are. I mean, you know, why I always end up doing long shows, and the fact that I get to interact with the fans and stuff on the channel, because I didn't see other people doing that. I didn't really see people literally just getting up on social media and interacting with the people that watch their show. And I love turning this into a conversation piece that I get to have with the regulars that come in, and even the new people that come in and have their say, where it's just like they're watching a clip and they're like, oh yeah, I want to chime in, and you can give your comments, and we have like that back and forth conversation, and I make everybody feel included that's a part of it. So I didn't want it to just be all about me. It's like, I love getting on camera and I love entertaining people, and the fact that everybody has their opinion and we make it like a conversation piece. And the feedback and all the other things that people give me on regards to the show. And that's another thing I wanted to say too before I forget. I definitely would love to hear you guys feedback in regards of the show. Like even when we're off camera, the one thing I really feel like I love about a lot of you guys, you know, for those of you who hit me up on Facebook Messenger, specifically, you know, Robert, and Felix and a couple of others, but they'll send me things. They'll send me clips about, oh, here's an idea that, you know, for your show, or you should talk about this, or this might be a good thing for you to want to talk about, because I can't follow every damn thing. So I love the fact that a lot of y'all will come in and even make suggestions. And so that's another thing too. Now I'm hoping that, you know, soon the financial situation will turn around for it. Well, now I can monetize the channel, which is pretty good, and it has been a help that I can monetize, that I'm at a place where I can monetize the show, and even cutting up the clips and stuff. Like, I monetize and I bring more attention and more people come in and all those things. So I say all this to say, Armon, you know, good luck on whatever your endeavors are. I know you probably are feeling the burn because of the drama you had to deal with TGIF and stuff. And you have to realize that you kind of, I feel like he put himself in a box by just only catering to one specific demographic. And with me, I was like, if I'm going to do this, like, I know I can't satisfy everybody and I can't please everybody. And that's not what I'm doing with this show. But I talk about everything. I'll talk about white folks. I'll talk about black folks. I'll talk about rap. I'll talk about movies. I'll talk about music. I talk about pop, I said all the things that's going on that's trending and in pop culture. And when you try to I feel like he painted himself in a corner with his show where you only talk about rap beefs and like little hot topics or whatever the neighborhood talk and the shade room was talking about. And it's like, sometimes you have to broaden your horizon. If you don't broaden your situation, you're only going to have like a small little niche market. And so that's not something I want to go into. I want to be able to walk in every room, not just one room. So I think also a lot of content creators don't look at the bigger picture. And I guess also playing in Hollywood spaces, like doing movie premieres and working on movie sets and having a stint at VH1 and all the other stuff around the time when Drag Race season 1, that's when I was back at VH1. That's like 15 years ago. So, or 16 years ago now. I've been around the world, so I could bring a lot of those experiences to the table and that sort of thing. So I still just say good luck to you, Armon, or whatever it is that you decide to do. And if, like I said, if you don't have a passion for, excuse me, that's me drinking that water. Now I'm burping. It's like if you don't have a passion and a stomach for doing celebrity news and gossip, then you're gonna see the ones who last and the ones that burn out, and we add them to the list of people that just didn't last. But good luck on whatever it is you want to do. Hopefully you will still be able to have the same type of success, if not more, or the money to be able to sustain that. Because I don't want to see like, oh, well, when you start getting broke and you end up having to go and do the 9 to 5 that you don't want to do, that you all of a sudden come backpedaling and jump back into the whole gossip space because that was easy money. And when you say that, the people will come at you and call you a hypocrite. So good luck. And let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so we have comments, and Robert says, I think Armon liked it until he was hired for a show that was out of his element. And I did say before that I was here for a younger voice on the show, because I remember we had that conversation. I think Roro was saying that, they need a young voice in the show. And I do agree with that. I would love to do a show where we have like a different generation of people on a panel where we have different points of view. My age, people in their 50s and, 40s, late 40s, because I'm in the early side. Millennial, Gen Z, I like different nuance. That's what I love about this show. We have, Robert, myself, like we're in the whole millennial situation. Onyx is Gen Z. Onyx is Gen Z. So we love getting that perspective on the show, and all the other people that come in with their different perspectives. So I always like hearing, I'm nosy, so I like to keep my ear to the street of, okay, the younger kids, what are y'all thinking? What are y'all listening to? What are y'all paying attention to? What's the new thing, the latest, newest thing? Like, I'm always trying to keep my ear to the street of what's going on and what everybody's wanting to, because you have to keep up with what's going on. I won't keep up with the Kardashians, but I'm gonna keep up with the younger people to find out what it is that everybody likes and what y'all into and give my thoughts on it. So I feel like, with him, it's like, who knows? Maybe it was, no shade, but and like I said, I don't mind the younger, like having a younger perspective, but I do feel like when he was on TGIF, some of the topics that they were talking about, it definitely showed like his lack of experience and the things that he only sticks to. And I would say that, and when we would talk about the criticism of TGIF, which was he only excelled when he talked about Nicki Minaj beefing with Cardi B, or whoever Nicki Minaj was beefing with at the time, or Megan having Megan Thee Stallion drama, or whatever the case was. So whenever it came to females and beef and stuff, that was like where he excelled. Other stuff, he really didn't have the vernacular to really come up there and say things. And even if you don't know much about something, at least take the moment to do the research. It's like, that's what I do when I'm not really familiar with certain people. Like when I didn't know a damn thing about JD Vance, I read up about him and the fact that, he got a wife. I was like, who that little brown woman that's next to him? He got an Indian wife. And don't think just because she trying to recruit them people, she another pick me. And don't get me started on Amber Rose, because I see Brown Bunny's comment where he was talking about Azealia Banks at a Trump rally. Child, that lady a lost cause. And if you gays continue to invite her to perform at pride events where she's showing up at Trump rallies, and we all know that Trump is on this whole situation about trying to take away the rights of everybody who isn't white and male, then shame on y'all. Because, you know, if he get in office, we're not going to have a pride. We're not going to have a Juneteenth. We're not going to have, you know, Women's Liberation Month or whatever they call it. Or, you know, they definitely going to be banning abortions worldwide. And a lot of the tests that they're doing in Texas is going to be passed to every state. So they're really trying to just take away, right? You know, the favorite math equation that Republicans love, they love subtracting things. They don't want to add. They know how to take away. And yes, I know Biden is no better, and I'm already pissed because I was reading stuff about how the Democrats have pretty much seceded, and they're like, well, damn, Trump won the election. I said, oh, so now this man up here doing wag the dog type shit, and y'all just because of this stunt that he pulled, where I'm hearing him on the mic talk about, wait, and then telling him to move out the way so he could throw his fists up in the air and the Nazi salute and tells them to fight. It's like, come on, because this ain't the first time there's been attempts on Trump's life, and they rushed him off the stage, no issue. All of a sudden, in this situation, where we have people coming out and pointing to the man on the roof, like there were Trump supporters literally there telling the police that there was something suspicious going on. And then, child, I can't believe I'm about to quote this bitch, but Candace Owens, was up on her show talking about how the Secret Service scopes out the areas before the president arrives, which I was like, duh, I should have known that because I watched enough, you know, Scandal. I've watched enough movies with you know, Oliver Stone films, presidential type stuff, to know that this is what they do. They scope out the area before the president is even allowed to come into whatever situation. So this was a setup. This seemed like it was a stunt, and the man that got killed, apparently he was a sacrificial lamb for Trump and his people, allegedly, so that way they could make him look like a hero and a martyr. This is why I'm like, this is crazy. And if people don't believe this, there have been many presidents or prime ministers or people who have run countries that have pulled these stunts before. So do your homework. Simply go on Google and look this up. It exists. So Trump is taking pages out of old handbooks that has happened in other countries to make him look a certain way. And if people don't believe this, then or just don't care, then y'all are crazy. Because I even seen a video where some people say, like, yeah, we need a dictatorship. They're for it. And they're thinking, I guess they thinking that they're not gonna be affected. Anything for a win. I'm like, y'all some fucking losers. So it's just sad that this is where our country is, and it's just like all this noise you just want to cancel it out, and it's just stressing me out and give me anxiety and all this other mess. And the fact that Democrats are just sitting on their hands like a bunch of damn spineless pussies, it just goes to show they've never been for the people, they've never cared. And at the end of the day, on even both sides of the politics or policies, we have to realize that we the people are the ones who have made the change in America. It has never been politicians. They'll jump on a bandwagon if it makes them look good, or if it helps them look out for themselves. But at the end of the day, when there have ever been changes in this country, it has been because we got tired of the bullshit and we rose up and we decided to ask for a change. It ain't never been no damn president or senator or whatever. So I feel like people need to remember that. And he said, I don't know. I was not intending to go on a whole Trump tangent, but because I saw that, because I saw that situation, it was like, okay, here I go with my politics. I mean, you know, talking about the politics. I kind of wish we could bring back the anonymous gossiper blogger, someone that spills tea and has an unknown identity. I kind of hate making these people. Yep. Yeah, because it's always sad to, like, when you get attached to someone and then it's like, oh yeah, I don't want to do this no more, so I quit. But it also made me realize that it's like, you know what? Everything is not meant to last. And I'm sure, you know, I'll do this show as long as I possibly can, but I do want to evolve into doing other things. But I'm going to take a page out of T.S. Madison's handbook and just be like, you know what? Yeah, just because I go off and I'm hosting events and I'm doing movies or I'm hosting reality TV shows, and yeah, I'm putting all that in the universe because those are the things I want to do. And I'm hoping that this, you know, that's what I want with this channel, is that to just put opportunities in my lap that I can go and expand off of doing this show because people see my personality. I've grown this show, without having to pay for subscribers and viewers and all the other stuff. People tune in, they tune in. If they don't, it's fine. And I appreciate all of y'all. Not that I'm trying to sound ungrateful or anything. I hope I don't sound ungrateful, but it's like, but at the end of the day, it's like, okay, if I do all these shows and all these different things, my foundation will always be this channel and doing this show. So I will always come back and give you all the celebrity news and gossip. And I'm hoping that doesn't, deter me from opportunities. Avalon Stars. I said, what's the tea? Now tell me what's the tea? Yeah, that just might. I can't stand her. She get on my damn nerve. MAGA people already attacking JD's wife. Really? That is so funny how the MAGAs are like, I thought they loved their Lord and Savior, DT. Like, why are y'all attacking JD's wife when, first of all, I really feel like if anything, y'all should be attacking him because it wasn't that long ago he started putting out whole tweets about how he compared Trump to Hitler and all that stuff. But now all of a sudden he deleted all the tweets, which of course I love the fact that the liberal people on Instagram, not MSNBC and all them, fuck y'all, because y'all just have no spine either. Except I will say Chuck Scarborough and his wife Mika, Joe Scarborough, sorry. And Mika, I heard they show got preempted because they started asking the questions, which makes like, okay, these networks, who's really running things over there? I've been thinking that a lot of these liberal channels and stuff, they're Trump supporters or they're funding his campaign, which is why the same thing with Elon, which is why I don't stream my show over there on Twitter anymore. Like I promote and I use that channel to do things, but I'm not paying him. I'm giving him no damn money, especially if you funding for that fool that'll do anything to get in the White House. And I just saw he recently did an interview with you talking about if he don't win, it's going to be a bloodbath. Shut the fuck up. Exactly. MK, I've been talking MK Ultra stuff for eons. Now, I know we did talk about, I did mention during the show, like people who, have YouTube channels and have grown from that and don't forget where they came from, which has always been kind of the argument with this next topic. And that is Chris Stuckmann, who has who is a popular YouTuber, who basically and for those who aren't familiar with Chris Stuckmann, he basically has a channel where he reviews movies. But he has faced some controversy ever since he started directing his first film by the name of Shelby Oaks, because he said, I'm not going to give negative reviews on my movies anymore, on not his movies, but other people's movies. So the only time he's going to do movie reviews is if it's positive. But people are looking at him like, you could still give, and this is where I come in with the whole evolving thing. You can evolve the way you review movies by simply saying, well, I'm going to come at it from a different angle, which is I'm not going to go and be too harsh on them. But now that I've actually made a movie, here's what I would have done based on certain scenes, whatever story direction or tone, whatever the case is. And that will make people who are watching your show understand that, okay, now he's a filmmaker, so he's coming at it from a filmmaker's angle. You go in and say, I'm not going to be critical of movies anymore. To me, that's just a cop-out, and it makes it feel like, okay, you're only doing this because now that you have been allowed to have a seat at the table in Hollywood, you've pretty much sold out. And that's the way I feel like a lot of his fans have looked at him. And I've seen a couple of people who have really like dragged him in their citations on social media or on their own YouTube channels. So I will say congratulations to Chris, because Neon, who is, I guess they're similar to A24 in regards to the content, but they also do horror movies and stuff too. Like the most recent film that they produced was Longlegs, which stars Micah Monroe, who sidebar, we need to talk about her, because Micah Monroe, in my opinion, is kind of becoming that Scream Queen on the low. Like, we talk about Jenna Ortega and we talk about all these other girls, but I feel like Micah Monroe needs to be added to the conversation as well in regards of horror movies, like up and coming Scream Queens, because she's been in a lot of movies. Like, she did It Follows. They're supposed to be coming out with a sequel, I heard. And she also did a movie, I think, called The Stranger with oh my God, what the hell's his name? Dane DeHaan and Evan Georgia. I think that's how you say his name. He was in that show with Ariana Grande. He got cute as he got older. Well, he's of age. We can talk about him. He was also in that horrible ass Resident Evil reboot. But he's in the movie too. He played like a guy that worked in the 7-Eleven that was helping her get away from that crazy ass Dane DeHaan. That was actually a good movie. If you have not seen that, that was on Hulu. Y'all can definitely check that out. If you have Hulu, look it up. I was actually entertained by it. And she's been in a lot of movies. I forget, who is she? There's somebody famous that she's. Oh, speaking of Ariana Grande, because I was like, Evan Georgia is in the movie. She's dating Ariana's ex-husband. That's who it is. So I forgot to mention that. I was like, yeah, Micah is dating Ariana's ex. I think has Ariana been married more than once? I think she has. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So she's also in the movie, if I didn't mention it already, she's in the movie Long Legs, which was directed by Anthony Perkins' son, Oz Perkins. So Neon has secured the rights, and they said it's a documentary found footage film called Shelby Oaks. And Chris Stuckmann wrote and directed it. Now, his debut film will have its world premiere at Fantasia Festival on Saturday. He did announce this on his YouTube channel, by the way. And I think it was maybe an hour before we went live with this show, he actually revealed it. But I saw like the trades was talking about it. So I guess that's when he felt, okay, now I can make the video and now I can come out and reveal it. So it says, launched from a 2022 Kickstarter campaign, which raised $1.39 million for the film in under a month, the most funded horror film ever on Kickstarter. Shelby Oaks follows Mia as she frantically searches for her sister, Riley, who ominously disappeared in the last tape of her investigative series, Paranormal Paranoids. The film stars Camille Sullivan, Hunter Hunter, and that's who's playing Mia. And Sarah Dern plays her sister, who disappears, Riley, who stars in Where the Crawdads Sing. Now, what got me interested in this film is because Brendan Sexton III is in this movie, and I've always been a fan of Brendan Sexton III. He's been, I liked him ever since he was in Welcome to the Dollhouse with Wiener Dog. That's where I remember Brendan Sexton III from. So he's been around for a long time, and I forgot he was in Don't Breathe 2. I didn't particularly like Don't Breathe 2 because then they all of a sudden tried to make the villain the anti-hero, so I didn't particularly care for him in that. So it says executive producers are Trevor Macy and Melinda Nishioka for Intrepid Pictures with Mike Flanagan, Adam F. Goldberg, Paul Holbrook, Sean E. DeMott, and Tony Kilgo. So they're going to release the movie theatrically in the U.S. and handle international sales. So it doesn't necessarily say when we'll get this movie. So who knows? If it goes to the film festival, it may come out who knows? Maybe it'll come out in the fall, or it'll probably end up coming out sometime in 2025. But I know it got to make the festival circuit first, and I guess But from what I heard, Long Legs made $22 million opening weekend. That's pretty good for a film like that because it's an independent movie. So I will say congratulations to you, Chris. I do feel like also, the thing with you or whatever, I really hope that you will kind of change up on the way that you do your reviews. Because I will say this, I do watch a lot of movie reviews and stuff when it comes to certain people, but I stopped watching his once he did that whole thing with, oh, well, I don't want to do negative reviews. And nobody said you have to necessarily do negative reviews, but you can give constructive criticism. Like with me, I don't try, whenever I review stuff, be it a movie, music, whatever, I just give my honest opinion. I don't try to go in to be mean or malicious or negative or whatever, but I'm someone who just assesses things and have always had the ability to say what most don't. So sometimes it comes across as harsh. I don't mean for it to come across as harsh, but I just feel like you can be constructive. You can give constructive criticism. That doesn't mean, because if I hated something, if I didn't care about something, I wouldn't talk about it at all. But if you have a passion and you care about something, you want to give constructive criticism. And I feel like now that you have that place in your career where you can speak out on things and you are in the rooms and you're able to make a movie, and now you're an official, like you've gotten further where most people haven't gotten. There's a lot of people who want to be filmmakers and have never had the opportunity to be a filmmaker, so they jump on social media and they create content, those other stuff, with the hopes of getting to where you are. So now that you've been able to get in that room and you've made it further than most, I feel like what would really have helped your channel is if you can go in and actually give a constructive. You can come from a place of, I'm a filmmaker, so I can give real opinions on things, and people will actually listen to you because he has that experience. So I'm going to actually take what he says into consideration. So I still like to say congratulations to you. I definitely want to check this film out. I am, because I am a fan of Chris Stuckmann. Before he decided to change over the thing, I will check the movie out. And I'll even say this: I'm not a fan of found footage stuff, so I think it's like partially found footage. So I think it's going to be like a regularly shot movie, but also found footage stuff based off of this girl trying to look for her sister who went missing. So if it's a hybrid, I can stomach it. I've never been a fan of found footage movies. I didn't even like the Blair Witch Project, which kind of kicked that whole found footage thing off. And I saw that in the movies. And I sat there and watched this with these college kids. And I'm like, so this is what everybody's getting all excited about? Because I don't get it. So I've never really been a big fan of found footage films because it annoys me with all that damn shaky cam. But if it's a hybrid, like I said, I'll definitely check it out. So let me know what you think of this story. Are you looking forward to Chris Stuckmann's new horror film, Shelby Oaks, now that it has a distribution deal, and now that we know it's finally going to see the light of day? Because once it's got a distributor, now it's a real thing and it's actually going to happen. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Yes, it was. Like, Welcome to the Dollhouse is a Key was one of my favorite movies as a child, but saw it recently, and Lord have mercy. Yeah, it is. It was dark and twisted. Like, I don't know if I could stomach watch that movie today. And I love me some Hedda Monterazzo. I'm still mad at the way they killed her in Hostel 2. But I did love that movie. And you know what? I was obsessed. Like, I loved how groundbreaking, I guess is the word, that they were with a lot of the 90s independent films and all the other stuff. So yeah, I love Welcome to the Dollhouse. I remember the first time I saw that movie at a friend's house, I was like, I love this movie. I like a lot of movies. There was another film I posted on my Facebook page the other day where I was like, oh my God, I really like this. It was a British gay film called Beautiful Thing. Love that movie too. It's like, Welcome to the Dollhouse. It said no negative. Exactly. It said no negative. Yeah, because I'm like, nobody, you don't have to come as harsh as you once were. But it's just like, I think a lot of times, or maybe I guess people don't think like I think, because I'd have been like, I'm going to still get my reviews, but I'm going to just change up the way I do it. Now that I come at it from a filmmaker's point of view, I can I can analyze it from a director's point of view rather than just some guy who's just sitting in, his apartment doing reviews of a movie, because I wish to be where they are, whatever your situation is. It said most of I mean, quiet as it's kept. It said that damn Stan Twitter plays into this. I knew about being fans of musical artists, but I learned that there's a fan base for movies and actors. Yeah, of course. There's stands for certain films that if you give any kind of criticism of a movie, they want to drag you. It's even more prominent, especially with the MCU stuff. They get like that with the Star Wars fandom is so fucking disgusting. The way they come in, any little thing. And Star Wars has always been about diversity with aliens and things. But a black person, an Asian person, anybody else come up in there, y'all got a problem. Y'all racism is showing. But not realizing, hello, you're in a imaginary fake world galaxy with all these different aliens. So you're okay with that, but you don't like seeing a black female or Asian girl or whatever the case is, or a black dude, John Boyega, in the Star Wars universe. I got a problem with it. Like, make it make sense. So These stands, they do get on my damn nerves. Okay, so now let's move on. Let's talk about Miss Halle Berry, who apparently has exited this upcoming Ryan Murphy series that was supposed to star not only Kim Kardashian, but Glenn Close. So, a sidebar, and Glenn Close, child, they was dragging Glenn Close, kind of really, sort of, but not really, because she did a movie, and Gabriel Basso, I think is his name, because the JD Vance, there's a movie that they made on his life, and Glenn Close was in it, and Gabriel Basso, who I actually like, because he was in Super 8. He was also in that show that's getting a second season on Netflix. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a spy series that I actually like. And I know they're getting a second season, but he was in that. But I know sometimes y'all need to check whatever the case is. But they said that movie had like Razzies and all that. It was bad. But they made a movie on his life about his upbringing, and he grew up poor and all stuff. And they pander it to that because of the whole Rust Belt. But anyway, so Halle Berry. So that's why I was bringing it up, because Glenn Close was in it. So there's a series that Ryan Murphy has been developing for Netflix called, or not Netflix, I think it's going to be on Disney, or Disney is behind it, or Hulu, I should say. But Hulu's part of Disney, so you know what I mean. So the show is called All's Fair, and Variety is reporting that according to an individual with knowledge of the situation, Berry bowed out of the show due to a scheduling conflict. Okay, sis. All's Fair, which hails from Ryan Murphy, will focus on an all-female law firm in Los Angeles. Exact details for Berry's character were kept under wraps. Reps for Berry, Hulu, and 20th Century declined to comment. Berry's upcoming releases includes, and I will say that even though I don't care for him, I do want to see this film because it's like a load of fun. There's a movie coming out that she did called The Union with Mark Wahlberg. That's going to be on Netflix. I believe it comes out on August 16th, which is Madonna's birthday. And she's also doing a movie called Never Let Go, which is a horror film for Lionsgate. Now that I'm excited to see, where it's just like she and her kids are confined to this cabin, and there's like these monsters or whatever that's out there, and they have to like walk outside with rope tied around them, and then the kids don't believe it. They think their mother's crazy, and then all of a sudden one of them takes the rope off, and then the monster takes them, and they got to go looking for them and something or other. That looks really good. So it's like, bitch, I ain't crazy. I'm trying to tell y'all there's monsters out here, but you little brats don't want to freaking listen. Typical kids. So Murphy serves as, here we go, the white Tyler Perry. He serves as writer, director, and EP on All's Fair, the first series to be announced under his new overall deal with Disney following the end of his Netflix deal. John Robert Bates, Joe Backen, Jamie Pacino, Laura Green, and Richard Levine also serve as writers and executive producers. Now, Kim Kardashian and Glenn Close are EPs. That would be executive producers, along with, of course, Pimp Mama Damn Chris, got to get a goddamn credit, Alexis Martin Woodall, Eric Covington, and Scott Robertson. Close will produce under her Trillium Productions banner. 20th Century will produce and associate with Ryan Murphy Productions. So, they said not long after the casting story, it was also reported last week that All's Fair is one of 5 shows set to receive a share of $58 million in tax credits from the California Film Commission. The show is expected to film for 97 days in California, including 10 days outside the Los Angeles area. So that's almost 4 months that Halle has to commit to, or 3.5, almost 4, 3.5, almost 4 months that Halle has to commit to doing this series. And I love me some Halle, but I feel like she got her share bag and was like, bitch, an Oscar winner. Like, she's like, oh, hell no, I'm not doing this show with them no fucking Kardashian. Like, I'm an Oscar winner. I'm a, legit actress. Like, I've worked hard for this whole situation. Here you go, Ryan Murphy doing his little stunt casting by putting Kim in some damn show about a lawyer because she plays one. She's the Harriet Tubman of law right now, trying to get all the black people taken out of jail. And, with her trying to do all of that criminal justice reform and all that stuff, good for her. But for the most part, I'm just like, girl, so with your schedule and all that other stuff, you didn't know that you was going to have to put all of this time to the side as an actor. So I feel like there's a lot more to the situation that we don't know about. But I'm going with the narrative. Okay, I ain't trying to do no damn show. I'm not acting alongside some old whore. But anyway, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all think that it was due to scheduling conflicts that Miss Halle is not doing this new series? And if Halle ain't doing it, who y'all replacing her with? I say, I don't know if she'll do it, but I say go with Kerry Washington. I'd like to see her replace Halle. But anyway, let me know. I was gonna say, Viola Davis, but I don't know if Viola Davis would. She's like, child, like I have degrees in acting. I'm not standing alongside no prostitute or prostitute. They ain't gonna take me serious as an actress. But anyway, let me know in the comments down below. Yes, it was called The Night Agent. No, it is. There is a second season. I forgot that. Yeah, they're getting a second season because of. I saw like the reports and stuff on the trades, like the Variety, Hollywood Reporter, Deadline. They were all reporting that there is a Night Agent sequel coming or second season, and I forgot all the actors that they mentioned that's going to be in it. But yeah, it was reported like maybe a month or two ago. Okay, so let's move on. Let's talk about Madonna, who had revealed this morning that the biopic is back on. So, congratulations to Mother M, the Queen of Pop, who, now that the celebration tour is finally over and behind her, the icon took to social media to not only announce that she's back at work on the long-delayed biopic, but also revealed the film's official title. So Madonna has returned to work on new material, girl, for her previously delayed self-directed biopic movie about her early life as a future global icon, which Entertainment Weekly can confirm inventing Anna and Ozark actress Julia Garner is still attached to lead. Well, I'm glad you could officially confirm it, but I think we kind of, us hardcore Madonna fans, kind of knew that. But good on you, EW, for thinking y'all had an exclusive. We'll play along. So the pop superstar shared Tuesday to Instagram a glimpse of herself once again working on the film's screenplay while seated behind a typewriter, with one photo clearly showing that the previously untitled film is now called Who's That Girl?, a clear reference to both Madonna's 1987 comedy film and accompanying #1 charting soundtrack single of the same name. And the weird part for me is, ma'am, why didn't you admit, or she don't even like performing that song, but that's what she gave it as a title. And you want to know something? I actually don't mind that she's calling her Who's That Girl. I actually like the name Who's That Girl as the title, because it kind of plays into, it's like, yeah, but who is she? Who is she? Now I'm having a RuPaul moment because I do like that song from him. But yeah, it's like, who is she really? Like, do we really? We do, as they used to say on, what was that show on MTV, True Life? You think you know, but you have no idea. So it's just like, it's something similar in that context. So they said the pop star, I need a lot of bands to make this. Okay. Madonna captioned the post, also posting a martini emoji to accompany a video clip she shared of a similar glass spinning atop a turntable while she worked on the script, which is basically what y'all see, the Instagram post that I'm showing y'all now. So Madonna first revealed in September of 2020, or as Barbara Walters would say, 2020, that she and Oscar-winning Juno screenwriter Diablo Cody were working on an early script of the project, which eventually gestated under the working title Little Sparrow. Cody and Madonna finished work on the project in 2021, with the screenwriter departing the film to work on other projects. Madonna then partnered with Erin Cressida Wilson, who was apparently credited on the rewritten version Madonna posted about on Tuesday, as indicated by the ECW credit on the title page, to rework the movie. The Like a Virgin and Hung Up performer previously said that the film would follow her struggle as an artist trying to survive in a man's world as a woman, and really just the journey, which she described at the time as a happy, sad, mad, crazy, good, bad, and ugly tale of the making of a superstar. And you want to know something? If you're going to direct this, ma'am, you better give us every bit of that, because if you don't, I'm going to be tight. So we better get all the good, the bad, the ugly, and the crazy, and the mad, and the sad, and the happy, and all the other things. Because, I always say the one thing I don't like about biopics is how one-sided they often come across. The milestones she said she hoped to cover in the movie narrative included the pop icon's rise through the entertainment industry in New York City, Writing Like a Prayer, filming Evita, and her connection with Jose Gutierrez Extravaganza and Luis Extravaganza, two members of New York City's Harlem ballroom scene that played a monumental role in the success of her 1990 smash song Vogue. You know what? If you're going to have Jose and Luis Extravaganza, I definitely hope that I'm like, who would be good to play them in a biopic? They probably gonna have to do an open casting call to get some of them in there, because I can't think of nobody off the top of my head. I was actually thinking, damn, what's the I want to Google it right now, but we're in the middle of a thing. What's the name of that actor? But he's about to do a gay movie with Joaquin Phoenix. Hold on. I'm gonna Google that now because I can't remember his name, but I do have a crush on him too. I was like, oh, he cute. Because it's like a NC-17 gay period drama. What am I gonna put? Oh, Top Gun Maverick, because that's what the movie he was in. And I can't think of the Latin guy's name. Danny Ramirez, because he's also in the new Captain America movie with Anthony Mackie. And I was like, the first time I seen Danny Ramirez on screen, I'm like, who is that? That is a pretty man. So I've been following his career ever since. I'll be following the pretty ones, child. So and you said, because because the one thing the reason why I'm asking about, two of the members of the House of Extravaganza, because they were two members of the Harlem ballroom scene that played a monumental role in the success of her song and the video and the choreography for Vogue. And this is why voguing has become what it is today, because Madonna took something from the underground and ushered it into the mainstream. So they said that EW previously confirmed that Garner was officially cast to play Madonna before the project was delayed and subsequently removed from Universal's slate in early 2023, so Madonna could embark on her global celebration tour. A source told EW that at the time, Madonna still planned to make the film at some point, though her focus will remain on the tour throughout 2023. Madonna fused both worlds, however, when she invited Garner to join her on stage for a segment of the show in New York in December. Now, in January 2022, EW additionally exclusively reported that Uncut Gems star Julia Fox, I'm so Julia, met with Madonna to discuss a potential role in the movie as Madonna's lifelong friend, actress Debbie Mazar. To me, that would be a perfect casting choice, because I don't know, maybe it's because Charlie XCX got me into her, or I've been following Julia Fox as of late, because we do have a Julia Fox story coming up later on in the show. But I'm like, Julia Fox definitely exudes, and it kind of reminds me of Debbie Mazar in a lot of ways. But I do wonder who they're going to get to play her. So they said Fox expressed interest in portraying Mazar in a June 2024 interview with IndieWire. So that was recent. So hopefully, it happens where she actually does cast her. Because Debbie Mazar worked with Madonna at Madonna used to always hang out at Danceteria. I think Madonna also worked at Danceteria, because Debbie used to work the elevator. And I think Madonna was a coach at girl or something or another. So I said, I still love to, but I genuinely don't know. This is what Fox told the outlet, confirming that she was formally cast to play Mazar in sequences that involved going back, when they're like 19 and first met. Now, EW said that they have reached out to Madonna's reps for more information on the biopic. And Madonna's only going to let you know what she wants you to know. And that's because she uses her Instagram to make announcements, to promote, to take photos, do all the things that she does. That's what she uses her Instagram and stuff for. So she's not going to go and reveal it to some interviewer. She knows the power of social media and how to work it to her advantage. So, me personally, I'm someone who would have preferred Madonna, giving us a tour. Not a tour, new music. She gave us the tour. I would have loved to have gotten new music from her. I would have loved to get a new album for her to capitalize off the success of the celebration tour. But she's like, no, we need to focus on the movie. And I feel like maybe what she'll do is she's going to work on some songs and put it on the soundtrack. So she can give us the classics that I'm sure is going to play throughout the film that she's directing, but she'll probably give us some new music to go along with it. So she's working on the script. I believe we talked about it on the show before, that she'll just use the music, or she'll begin filming the movie sometime in 2025. We may get it early 2026. She can go promote it, do all that stuff, good 2 months. And who knows, maybe in 2026, we'll get a new album. I know it's going to be a long time with that whole situation, but unfortunately, it is what it is. But some people said in the comments, let's see what the people said. They said, I wish instead of pushing a biopic film, she instead did a series. There's just way too many things she's done in her career to condense to a movie. And I actually have said this. I was like, you know what? Personally, I don't want her to do a movie because you got to squeeze it and make it like a 2.5. You could possibly push for a 3-hour film. But to me, Madonna's career spans 4 decades. Like, I would actually prefer her to do a series and either release it on Netflix or Hulu or one of those things, but she wants an Oscar. So I think that's what she's going for. And then, so some people say, oh no, I wish she would leave the biopic for the next decade and record a new album and go on Celebration Stadium leg tour next year. But why would she do a Celebration Stadium leg? She already did the Celebration tour. And we all know Madonna doesn't like to look back, even though she had to with this tour, because it's been 4 decades. You have no choice but to look back. And you can look back, but you could do it in a way that makes it fresh and new, which they were able to make it work, which is you look back on the things you did in the past, but also just remix it, flip it and reverse it, in the words of Missy Elliott. And it made it feel fresh, shiny, and new. Touch for the very first time. So they went on to say, I wish she would focus on touring and making music while she can and leave the biopic when she's in her 70s. Well, Madonna gonna do what she want to do regardless. They said hopefully she doesn't delay the Celebration Tour live concert release. Well, I don't think that it's the concert, they're working on it, editing it, putting it together, all that other stuff. It doesn't take a whole lot. First of all, she's not even in the editing bay working on it. She can go work on the script for a couple of hours. I've written things, scripts, all this other stuff. So you don't need to focus the full 8, 9, 12 hours on a script. You can work on some stuff for like a good 3, 4 hours. Then if you can check in, FaceTime, whatever the case is, or even go down to the studio and check in and be like, okay, so how's the editing going on the concert? And you can go in, take a meeting, look at some things, give your feedback, leave, go and do what you got to do. So it's not a full-time situation where she can't just go and where it's going to affect the Celebration live concert, which I don't think we're getting until the end of the year anyway. So it's not all negative, because some people said, great title, can't wait to see it on the big screen. Can't be not another Who's That Girl. She looks stunning. Yes, she does. Let's go back to that photo, because we look at that Frida Kahlo. But now let's look at Madonna. Child, how they gonna say we lost? I guess y'all was hoping a new album. Somebody put we don't want it, but I guess. Well, speak for yourself, ma'am. Somebody tagged OMG to Milk Donna. Don't know who that is, but shout out to you. And yeah, that's that. So that's what some of the people are saying. Excuse me. And from what I see on the Instagram, one person did say, Roro515 said, right. We need to see your story from your point of view. Also, you're looking way too good to stay trapped behind your typewriter all day. So be sure to take a break. And then you see Pablo Vittar responded with 3 hearts and all that stuff. So here's the thing. I think I pretty much just said all I need to say with this. I'm definitely, like I said, while I would like new music and I would like to see Madonna get out there and show these girls that, yeah, she is that bitch, even at 66, which she's about to be a month from today, because it is July 16th. She'll be August 16th. She will be 66. So while she still has it, I say, like, you know what, focus on the biopic. I know it's like movies are time consuming, movies take a long time to put together, and all the other stuff. once she does the film, it probably takes like what, a good 3 months that they're probably gonna be focusing on this film. So she can direct the film. I actually hope what she does is not wait until 2025. I hope that she works on the script, it gets done, and they can start in the fall of shooting and have it done by the end of the year. And then also, so while you have your people editing it, you could also be in the studio working on music. You let other people, but I know she's a damn control freak. That's the problem. That I think why people are reacting the way they're reacting, where they're like, she needs to always be in control. But sis, you was on, look, we almost lost you. So try not to be too controlling with this whole thing. But like I said, she wants that Oscar. Let the editors do what they do. Give your tips, give your feedback, let them know what it is you want, what you don't want, and all this other stuff. Let them people handle their shit. And you focus on the artistic aspect. While I'm not all that excited that she's directing her own film, I really wish that she would just write it and just be on the sidelines and be a consulting producer and be able to have creative control and let them know, like, a whole collaborative effort. I just hope and pray that it's good, but I do wish that it was a series rather than a damn 2.5, I'm guessing 3-hour movie. But anyway, I also this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Are you guys excited that Madonna's biopic is finally back on track? I'm wondering, is Universal still producing it? I'm guessing they are. They haven't had anybody else jump on. She just put it on hold while she just did some other stuff. And look, she already gave us the music. She feels like, but this is her passion, and this is what she's passionate about, and this is what she's going to put out. So while I do want new music, I am excited to see where she's going to go with this whole biopic situation. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Now, speaking of comments, I see we got a lot, so let's go to it. Robert says, nope, Kim would have dumbed it down. Call Emma Roberts since Emma's okay working with the ultimate nepotism. Well, look, the funny thing about her and Kim, they're already doing a show together, and it's being called, I believe, Calabasas. So they need to put a new person in there besides her and Emma. So apparently, Kim is doing 2 shows, one called Calabasas, and the other one is the lawyer series. Who's That Girl is the ultimate meta reference. Yes, it is, even though she don't like singing that song. ¿Quién es esta niña? I like Who's That Girl, but I really wish she wouldn't throw so much shade at it, but whatever. They say, yeah, because people are always trying to figure her out. And that's what I said. It's like, nobody really knows her. Nobody knows me. Nobody knows me like you know me. Why am I always like, the stuff comes up, I start referencing a Madonna track? It's like, even the ones, I could sit here all day and just do a Madonna reference, shell. And they said, I hope this opens people's eyes about she never culture appropriated the ballroom. Well, look, if the ballroom community themselves have given respect and props to Madonna, even down to the recent, what was it, Ladyland Festival that she did, where they sat up there and they gave her props, like prominent figures, icons in the ballroom scene, and they have given credence to her, saying like, yeah, she did not culturally appropriate. She took something from the underground, brought it into the mainstream. And my thing is, if you go on culturally, if a cultural appropriator would not incorporate people from that scene and in that world into what she was doing, she wouldn't have taken members of the House of Extravaganza on tour with her. She would have never given them the opportunities that she's given them. So she took them around the world, and So for people to say, oh, she culture appropriate, that's basically just taking, culture appropriation is taking something from a community and not giving the proper respect. If Madonna was a cultural appropriator, she wouldn't constantly be referencing ballroom in her work, or even showing up to Pride events, or showing up to ballroom events and giving them her time, as a lot of these fake ass mainstream people do. Y'all only pander to us when y'all want something, but she doesn't have to do the things that she's doing. That actually would be a good idea. He's another cutie. I was thinking either that, or could you imagine Carlos Leon being played by Anthony Ramos? I was like, he'd be another choice too. Because they both Puerto Rican. But I forget the actor that's from I think he's like half Filipino or something, but it don't matter. He's still cute. I would like to see him play up in there. Yeah, who would play Ingrid? Who would play Sandra Bernhard if she's gonna be up in there? Yeah, who would play Ingrid? Who would be a good choice? I would say Selma Blair, but she's got MS, so that might not. So it might be hard for her. But yeah, oh yeah, we definitely need that. We need a release of Dick Tracy on 4K. Like enough is enough. God damn it. Let's say, remember she had it canceled. She had it canceled, an unauthorized biopic, and went to Universal Pictures, the same studio that did the unauthorized picture. So she made sure to make it work for her. I think the days of her multitasking are over. I think priorities have changed since her. Yeah, because it's like when she overexerts and overworks herself, you were able to do that when you back in the day. You can only do that for so long before it catches up with you, and you can't do like 4 things at once. And we realize that when she multitasks, her work suffers. And we've seen that happen when she's worked on movies and music at the same time. So it's best to just focus on one thing at a time. She could focus on making the biopic, finish up the script, tighten it up a little bit. It shouldn't take a long time to do rewrites and collab on the script with somebody. And also, all the things, because I feel like now there's a little more meat on the bone since what happened to her, and she, we almost lost her. So I feel like this biopic has kind of taken on a different life because of it. Whereas prior to the incident, I don't feel like her passion was that much into it. It probably was coming from an egotistical place that I have to direct, I have to do this, I have to do that. But I do feel like her priorities have changed a little bit, and I'm sure there's probably a little ego in it as well. Oh, look at yeah. Because I remember her saying she's not doing albums because hers aren't selling and she goes broke. She'd rather do one-off singles as it's more crucial to streaming. Well, yeah, so I'm like, you could do a single here, an EP there, or something. Look, child, I'm still looking forward to Adam Lambert's new EP coming out this week. I heard a snippet of Neck. I'm like, bitch, he is turning me out with these songs. Shout out to him. These ones out here. I saw that post you sent me from Pride to my Katy Perry ready to serve the gays. I'm like, serve us what? A bop? Because she ain't giving that. I'm like, what gays you referring to? Must be the basic ones, because we ain't checking for her over here. Us real music lovers ain't checking for her pandering ass. But Adam Lambert getting into the whole dance music space and the fact that he's playing around and experimenting with his vocal ability, that's what I think I always love about pop and dance and all this stuff. The fact that it was like, we know you can sing, but the whole playing around with your vocals and trying different things and experimenting, I think is like what's really serving. Like I told her, he did a song with Vincent that I actually like, and I saw that a performance that they did live on stage. I also told her I saw Adam. I ran into Adam Lambert at Fire Island, right? And I thought I was bugging. I'm like, is that Adam Lambert? And it was because I noticed the hair. The minute I saw that big old platinum blonde hair and that tall man with all them tattoos, I was like, okay, there goes Adam heading down to there was a tea dance over at the Pines, and this was during the invasion of the Pines, where all the drag queens come and they invade. It's like a little parade that they do where people come off the boat, and then the drag queens come down, and it's like a historical thing because I remember. I think the story is from the invasion of the Pines. There was a person in drag that was refused service at a restaurant at Fire Island, and they came back with a whole bunch of drag queens, and they all came in and did the whole, sit-in, whatever the case was, and they were served. So there's a history behind the whole invasion of the Pines thing. And yeah, I went there 4th of July, which I was like, Chad, that was crazy trying to get through all them people. But shout out to all the people I saw. But anyway, let's move on and let's talk about Tyler Perry, who is being dragged for having one of the worst movies out right now. So now he has a movie that's currently airing. I left it as a freeze frame because I don't know if we'll get in trouble for showing. So I'll just leave it there. Of course, there's got to be a damn church scene. It wouldn't be a Tyler Perry movie if we didn't have a church scene. So according to the Neighborhood Talk, they was revealing that the movie got 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. So they said if you didn't catch Tyler Perry's, well, as I call him, Tired Perry, new movie, Divorce in the Black, you didn't miss anything. While Perry is definitely a staple in the cinematic world and has blessed us with timeless classics from his plays to his box office hits, DITB seemed like a to-be version of Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Well, goddamn. They said from Grit Ball to Medea cutting everything in half in Diary of a Mad Black Woman, Tyler is known for giving us some dramatic scenes. However, starting the DITB film off with the family removing their loved one from the casket during the funeral was just comical as opposed to emotionally provoking. The film received 0% on Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter. Social users have chimed in calling it the worst film yet, or his worst film yet. Comedian Lonnie Love took the X and said, I love that Tyler is paying Black actors now. I wish he would hire Black writers and directors that have experience to help him with his movies. He could improve the movies and make them award worthy if he would stop trying to save money by doing the writing and directing himself. Now, Perry has stated in the past that he writes his own movies and doesn't need writers. Yes, the fuck you do. And this is what I've been saying for a while now. And this is why I could never get behind anything Tyler Perry does. And this is where I get irritated, because people feel like that just because Tyler Perry does a lot for the Black community and nobody's taking that away from him, doesn't mean that his cheap, non-paying ass ain't beyond reproach. Yes, I'm glad that you give your coins and everything and giving actors, Black actors particularly, opportunities. But here's the thing. You have your own studio in Atlanta. You have all these things where you are playing outside the Hollywood bubble, and you don't need them damn people in order to exceed and have ideas and to be able to bring your things to life. The problem is you are so damn cheap and so damn self-absorbed and selfish that you keep taking the same goddamn script and recycling the same movie, but just put new people in it. I would think this movie is probably no different than that damn Mea Culpa movie. You basically just replaced Kelly Rowland with Megan Good and all these other people. You basically make the same fucking movie over and over and over and over and over again. You just switch out the people. And I'm glad you're giving Megan and Omari Hard, all these other people. Who was it? I don't think it was Omari Hardway. It was, was it Tia Mowry ex-husband? I'm glad you gave him a job. I'm glad you're giving people opportunities and giving them a chance to flex their acting muscle. But I agree with Lonnie. And it's like, yeah, you are someone who is one of the most powerful Black moguls in the industry. Why aren't you giving opportunities to other writers, other Black writers who aren't getting the opportunity that they should be getting? Why aren't you diversifying your portfolio? You have this big studio. Why aren't you making Black sci-fi movies? Why aren't you making Black horror films? Why aren't you making, with a horror movie with a Black cast, an action movie with a Black cast, and all these different things? Why aren't you doing that? Instead, you're just out here being selfish, and you just making the same damn movie over and 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 over again. And to me, it's like the definition of insanity. Making the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result. So let's go to what the people said, because I'm thinking like there's people in the comments that y'all, there's no requirement for taste, apparently. So Mr. Ray, who's always commenting on everything in the Neighborhood Talk post, said, I enjoyed it, and everyone else who made it the #1 global movie on Amazon Prime. Numbers don't lie. Opinions don't matter. Sir, you're not a filmmaker, so sit down and be quiet. Bobby Light said, it was all right. The best performance throughout the film was brought to you by Megan Good, and that's the only person who slayed their role. Another person put, Tyler Perry doesn't care what they are saying. He's been in his own lane, good or bad. We all still watch the movie. Another person put, Lifetime been making movies like this for decades with no Black actors and white actresses in sight. And Black actors and Black actresses in sight, and no one complains. Who said they don't? But then it said, when he stopped catering to you guys, it will be the he don't support Black people mess circling. When y'all tore him down every chance y'all got, we are the worst. And see, this is why I can't read this stuff, because a lot of y'all just missed the damn point. A lot of y'all just want to weaponize Black and all this other stuff as an excuse for why the movies are shit. Nobody's saying, it's like, we want to see variety in regards of Black films. But if the script is bad, if you're not even following the stuff that you put, like, you just putting all this dramatic stuff in there because people like drama and people like mess, but you're not paying attention to the fact that the script is a mess and that certain things that you're making your actors do don't make sense, or that this scene that you have people doing is supposed to be played up as serious, but it's coming across as comedy, and then you got, like, your shots are a mess, you got boom mics hanging down, you got people in horrible ass Janice Cone wigs from Party City. We're not supposed to criticize it? And like I said before, when I was talking about Chris Stuckmann or whatever, or when I've just been mentioned throughout the show, when I talk about other things, you can give constructive criticism without being a hater. But people always think the minute you have an opinion that's different from theirs, you're a hater. And it's like, it's not hate. The fact that I didn't give a fuck, I wouldn't talk about it. But I said, as someone who actually went to film school and took screenwriting classes, had to take shot lists, learn how to write a shot, come up with a shot list, and learn how to set up your shots, and knowing, like, the angles and making sure that your lighting and everything is on point. And then you have somebody in here that's just been in the game for 20 years and still giving mess. And y'all just eating it up because y'all feel like, oh, because this is a Black powerful man and y'all hoping one day that you can get a job with him. Then is it really, like, helping the person if y'all just sit up there and just stand out of it? Wasn't that bad compared to what? Tyler Perry always putting out shit. He decided to make a 2-hour movie in a week, and then you don't take the time to really make sure the movie's together. It's not easy, and I've said this before, it's not easy making a movie. It really isn't. It's not easy putting a project together. But why not give opportunities to other people to come in and help develop your script, or come in with a good idea, whatever the case is? Tyler wants to do everything himself. And if that's what you want to do, then you're just going to keep getting low quality crap. So I'm sure, like they say, he don't care. He gonna keep giving y'all whatever. And until y'all wake up and stop just accepting whatever, mess that people give you. And then why are we comparing that to Lifetime? I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like a lot of his movies are on the level of, like, a Lifetime movie of the week. It definitely gives Lifetime movie tease whenever he makes the type of films that he makes. But it should be elevated beyond what you see on Lifetime. Because, yeah, them Lifetime movies just as bad. But I guess that people expect more from someone who's been in the game for the longest of time. And there are people that are overly critical. But if y'all like it, I love it, I guess. So let me know what y'all think. Did y'all watch the movie? Do y'all feel like a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes is a little too harsh? I'm like, damn, Tyler, they really coming for you. So let me know in the comments down below. Oh, yeah, there's another thing with him too. It's like, yeah, he don't like, he tries to find ways to get around the union and all that other stuff. He don't be wanting to pay nobody. So when you want to be cheap, that's what you get, cheap shit. And it seemed like anything can get, with a couple of views on something, anything can go number 1 on Amazon Prime Video, Netflix. Like, we don't be seeing them numbers. Y'all just go buy stuff and think, oh, because it's #1, does that mean it's good? Like, we've seen movies that have gone #1 that have been terrible. We've seen albums go and be successful, and the album was like the person's weakest body of work. But I guess at the end of the day, what it is just that, what? Art is subjective, and one person's trash is another person's treasure. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Jack Black and Tenacious D, because he out here trying to save his career because he trying not to get blacklisted. But my thing is, why can't people have a difference of opinion? These damn Trump supporters come out here saying all this bigoted and crazy crap, and there's no consequence to the stuff they say. But, Democrats or whatever, y'all all think that whole when they go low, we go high mess is actually working. Y'all just showing y'all got no backbone, you're spineless, and you're pussy. So, no shade, but Kyle Gass was pretty much saying what a lot of people on social media was thinking. Especially when you have someone like Donald Trump out here inciting violence and riots. And let's not forget about January 6th. And most recently, he said in an interview that if he does not win this presidency coming up, there will be a bloodbath. So you're making idle threats in front of the world, acting like a wannabe damn dictator because your ego is so out of control and you're a sociopath. But nobody's checking him on this craziness that he said. Oh, no, it's just Trump being crazy. Why is that acceptable? So Jack Black, because of what Kyle Gass said in a joke, I was going to play it, but I'm going to just read it. He had to cancel their tour, Tenacious D's tour, and said all future creative plans for the duo are on hold following his partner Kyle Gass' controversial onstage joke about the Weeknd's assassination attempt against Donald Trump. So according to the Hollywood Reporter, they said the following. They said, I would never condone hate speech or encourage practical political violence in any form. I actually think I have that, what he said. So so there it is. It said, after much reflection, I no longer feel it is appropriate to continue the Tenacious D tour, and all future creative plans are on hold. I am grateful for the fans for their support and understanding. And all this came because while they were performing in Sydney, Australia, I guess they felt like because we're in a foreign country that it wouldn't get back. But y'all seem to forget, people got phones, things get back. Like social media don't only exist locally, it's worldwide. The World Wide Web, hello? So they were performing in Sydney, Australia. Black and a Robot presented Gass with a birthday cake. In the clips, Black is heard saying, make a wish to Gass, who before blowing out the candle says, don't miss Trump next time. And this is what people, and people in the crowd was laughing and clapping. Because they know that Trump is a damn clown and a loser. But it just seems like these lunatics keep getting all this attention over here in the media. If y'all keep, and I keep telling you, there's the Matrix in the real world. There's a little bubble that this media likes to bang us on top of the head with a jackhammer in regards to these lunatics out here in these streets. If y'all listen to them, y'all will really think that Trump is going to win or whatever the case is. It's up to us at the end of the day to get out there and vote. I don't like neither one of them, but we're a safe bet if we have Biden right now. No shade. And after the 4 years, once Trump gets, don't go and he goes to jail and all this other stuff, we can fight for a real democracy in this country and not just have this whole two-party system. But it has to be up to us. So they said the clips quickly went viral across social media, sparking Australian Senator Ralph Babbitt to demand that the pair have their visas revoked and to be deported from the country. Well, of course, it's always political people who start on this, bullshit. But then the regular people, we get it. Now, on Tuesday, Gass issued an apology shortly after. The Hollywood Reporter has learned that Gass was dropped by his agent and Michael Green's talent agency, Green Talent. The line, I improvised on stage Sunday night in Sydney, was highly inappropriate, dangerous, and a terrible mistake. This is what Gass said in a statement posted to Instagram following the news that the tour has been canceled. I don't condone violence of any kind in any form against anyone. He continued, what happened was a tragedy, and I'm incredibly sorry for my severe lack of judgment. I profoundly apologize to those I've let down and truly regret any pain that I've caused. So they was in the middle of the tour, and I guess because of all this, to save his own ass, Jack Black had to denounce the situation, and rightfully so. But the thing that was messed up, because like I've said before, it's like, oh, just because you're attached to someone, why do they get the blame? And because Jack Black is the bigger celebrity, and because people know him, all of a sudden y'all want to put blame on him. He's not the one that said it. He said make a wish. Kyle's the one who said what he said. So y'all need to put the blame on him. And of course, because people are so reactive with things, agencies going to drop you, they want to cancel you, all this other stuff. I was like, well, damn, can anybody just take a breather, a breath, whatever, before y'all be so quick to just be like, okay, let's start the canceling. Let's start getting rid of people. Let's start burning people at the stake. Even though I will say this, it is wrong to come out, even though, Trump has come out here and said many of them wish death upon people. doesn't care about anybody but himself. This is why I laugh, I shake my head. I don't laugh. I shake my head at that wife of that man who shielded his family that was just killed, the Trump supporter that basically was telling Palestinian people, oh, they'll get over it. The wife clearly is a representation of those red state nut jobs where she's like, oh, well, Biden actually called her to want to speak to her and give their condolences over the death of her husband. This is why I believe that this was all some type of MK Ultra whack the dog setup type shit where he wanted to look like a martyr in front of his people and didn't care who was going to be sacrificed at the altar because y'all all gonna pay in blood. You stay loyal to that man. But you know what? The devil gonna get his because I always compare Trump to Damian Thorne because he definitely gives son of the Antichrist. So, with that being said, the wife basically was like, "Oh, I don't want to speak to Trump. I don't want to speak to Biden because her husband was this loyal conservative and believed in Trump's whatever." Because I guess he gave him license to be a bigot, which is why I always side eye these people that work in the fire department, the police department. A lot of y'all are a bunch of damn racists anyway. So when you have these people working in these service industry jobs, that's more dangerous than anything. So, which is why we are in the situation where we are, where you always hearing like black people getting killed at the hands of cops. Turn out a lot of them be racist and stuff because these are the jobs they go into. And then you find out their political beliefs. And they think like politics is the law. So she didn't want to call from Biden, who actually picked up the phone and wanted to speak to her, but she ain't hear and then admitted she ain't hear from Trump. And I'm like, sis, you're not going to because he doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about your husband. All he cares about is absolute power and corruption. That's all he cares about. He don't care about none of these people. He's even called his supporters stupid, but they'll follow you to the end of the earth. I don't understand why, but I guess that Jim Jones Kool-Aid, hope it's good and hope it's sweet. So anyway, I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? And do y'all even believe that this whole thing was set up or whatever? Because I truly believe at this point, there's some type of this was some type of nasty little plan. I feel like there's something going on with this whole thing. Like, I don't think that there's just some guy that decided, oh yeah, I'm gonna go assassinate him. Like, I feel like this is a whole damn setup. And it's disgusting that the lengths, the low this man will stoop for absolute power. So let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Unfortunately, I hate that phrase, vote for the lesser two evils, but I agree. And it's like, yeah, we have a genocidal maniac, which would be Joe Biden. And then we have this nut who's openly just talking about wanting to be a fascist and how he's going to be, on the first day, a dictator. So they're both evil, and I can't stand it. But I feel like this is not the time. Unfortunately, it's like, yeah, we could vote Green Party, as some people be trying to say, vote Green, vote Green. That ain't going to help us at this point. We have to make sure that Trump doesn't get in office. But the worst part of this shit is it just doesn't seem like the other side, the Democratic side, cares enough to fight back. Like, where is y'all backbone? Which is fine. Y'all a bunch of damn pussies sitting out here. So we got to freaking do the work because these lazy ass Democrats don't want to do nothing. Yeah, I say he ain't called. I'm sure she knows he went golfing. Oh, of course he did. I seen the picture. Somebody went and posted outside the window. He was outside golfing. He had no bandage on his ear, but he made sure to have it at the RNC yesterday. And also, he fell asleep at the RNC. Why didn't MSNBC, y'all sitting there doing a whole play-by-play of everything, why didn't y'all mention this motherfucker sitting right there with his eyes closed, dead to the world, sleeping? But y'all want to talk about Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, and all this other stuff. So that's why I don't understand. So that's why I'll be looking at some of these liberal media channels sometimes, and I don't watch them. I'll see the clips on Instagram, and I'm like, whose side are y'all on? Who do y'all work for? Do you have these Trump supporters that are the ones that's funding these networks, that's running these networks, and y'all trying to protect, y'all basically Fox News light? That's what CNN and MSNBC give me. But if y'all want to live in a world of fascism, then y'all sit your ass home and don't vote. Project 2025 is real. So it said, fascinating how conservatives love to complain about cancel culture, but it seems to me, they the main ones. They be the main ones out here trying to cancel things because they want things their way. They want people to they want to impose their beliefs and their views on other people. Like I said, live and let live. If you want to go out there and you want to worship at the altar of Trump, then you go ahead and do that. There was a clip that I saw, and I wish I knew where I saw it, of Jon Stewart going in. I think I posted it in my IG stories. And Jon Stewart was basically talking about, it's like, yeah, don't try to wrap it around, don't try to wrap y'all hatred and bigotry and calling it patriotism, because that's not what it is. Y'all are not real patriots. And he said, instead of the American flag colors, you need to be wearing them colonizer colors, like the ones with the back in the old days in the wartime where they wore them. Them colonizers came over, they was doing all the stuff that they was doing. So that's what they should do. Oh, child. Well, Kamala better bring it, because this JD guy, like, literally, he just got into politics like a year ago. He was never, and you think, this whole, I came from a poor background. That's supposed to help you? And he probably gonna look like a damn idiot up there, and I hope she makes him look that way. Okay, so chill, let's get into Miss Bhad Bhabie out, honey, because she was selling pussy for currency. But at least she did it the right way, because Miss Mama's made $57 million from doing the OnlyFans. I'm like, girl, I'm in the wrong business. You and the, and the Hawk Tour chick. Like I said, I've been spitting on dicks for 2 decades, and this lady goes and gets drunk and talking about Hawk Tour on some damn, viral video, and she getting paid $50,000 damn dollars to show up and do events. Like, I'm in the wrong business. So Bhad Bhabie may be going through a rough patch relationship-wise. Yeah, she out here getting her ass beat by her baby father. But it's smooth sailing as far as her finances is concerned, because she's apparently raking in the dough big time. So, according to the Daily Mail, they said Danielle Peskowitz Brigoli, a.k.a. Bhad Bhabie, has been raking in the cash since joining OnlyFans in 2021, revealing her massive earnings over the weekend. So the 21-year-old who first shot to fame at 13 in 2016 during an appearance on Dr. Phil, when she started that stupid ass Catch Me Outside, How About That? I remember the first time when I was working at AMC, and I remember there were coworkers that were, Catch Me Outside, how about that? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And kept just talking about, and then all of a sudden they was telling me, you ain't see that Dr. Phil episode? Then I finally seen it when, it was like a big thing, and then I knew where it came from. So she took to her Instagram story over the weekend and shared that she earned over $57 million. She shared a graphic on her Instagram, and please hold while I pull that up, because I want y'all to see that. I'll go to the actual thing, because I posted it on my website, so that way if y'all didn't see the receipts. Wait, is there another picture? Oh yeah, that's a different one. Okay, so let's show that here. So there is the actual receipt of the thingy-majiggy. So the graphic basically says, and they said that her earnings were from April 1st, 2021, just 6 days after she turned 18 and joined OF through July 11th, 2024. So that's literally 5 days ago. So the graphic also breaks down how she made her money, largely through subscription fees, currently $23.99 a month, and messages from fans, which creators can charge as much as $50 per message. The internet personality and rapper, who welcomed her first child in March, actually made a lot more through messages and subscriptions. So according to the thing, it says she made $24 million from subscriptions, $578,281.22 in tips. She made no money in posts. She made $32 million from messages and no money from referrals or streams, which brought her total to $57,060,758.48. That child, now I tell you, I'm in the wrong business. Now, It says the internet personality was only 13. Okay, we already did the whole thing about that. So it said at one point during the episode, the audience started laughing at her. She fired back with what would become her catchphrase. She reappeared on the show in 2017 without an audience, and her catchphrase helped spawn a brief music career. She was even nominated for an Okay, now y'all lost me with this. She was even nominated for an MTV Movie and TV Award in the trending category based on the catchphrase. She was later sent to the now infamous Turnabout Ranch for troubled teens in Utah. And I think that that place was closed down, and I think it also discredited Dr. Phil, in my opinion, because she was talking about the abuse that she had to endure while she was there. So what else did they say? Okay, so it said that she alleged in a YouTube video that staffers forced her to sit still for 3 days without sleeping and that they used physical violence on other teens. She also lashed out at the Dr. Phil show for sending teenagers there, though Phil himself claimed, child by. First of all, Phil is full of shit. I never trusted that man as far as I could throw him. He knew what the fuck was going on. That reminds me of that episode of Law and Order SVU, and I think they even did an episode of Law and Order where it was like Swoozy Kurtz was the lawyer that was on stage. I mean, was on in the courtroom, and they would send these kids, these troubled teens, like even for the most minor of things, she would send them to this troubled ranch or whatever the case was, and the amount of abuse that they endured. I think that episode was done long before Danielle Bergoli started spilling tea about it. So them people was probably on to something that we didn't know about, the writers. She also was featured on the Max docuseries Teen Torture, where she speaks out about her experiences on the ranch. She shared a trailer for the series. So it's a new show. And then she showed it last week. They said it debuted last week. It opened up that she's still dealing with the trauma from her time. Okay, first of all, I cannot believe they spelled steel. STEAL, STIL. As I can speak for myself when I say that I'm still dealing with the effects from my time spent at the camp I was sent to and kept at for 6 months at 13 years old. I know there's also thousands of other people who have suffered abuse mentally and physically at these places that are still suffering. These places are not a solution to fix your kid. Please do not send them there. They will come back with more trauma. If you don't believe me, go watch Teen Torture Inc. now on at Stream on Max. Also, go follow and support organizations like ICAPA Network, ICAPA Network, that's what it says, that are working hard to get help to help get these places shut down. So you know what? The good thing is, even though she's going through her stuff with her baby father and all this other stuff, at least she's doing her part and trying to help bring awareness to, these camps with these abusive, these crazy, places for these troubled teens. And I guess I don't know why kids are, the way they are. Maybe it's because they need a lot of attention. They may have ADHD, or they just might have shitty ass parents who just had them for the sake of attention or whatever, but don't really be out here raising their kids the way they're supposed to be raising them. But shout out to Danielle. I did see that there was one photo she had up there where she was scrunching her boobs together under one of her arms. I'm like, girl, you need more than one arm to cover all that breast you got. But it just makes me wonder. I'm like, sis, it reminds me a lot of this whole Austin Wolf thing we was talking about, where it's just like these older people, they gravitate towards these young people out here selling sex. And maybe we need to look at the whole thing regarding how a lot of these shows, music, commercials, whatever, how they sexualize kids, our media, sexualizes kids so young. So maybe that's where that comes from. And the fact that, you even have parents out here who try to throw girlfriends and boyfriends on their kids when they like 5 years old. All they want to do is eat ice cream and play tag on the playground. So I say, what do y'all think of this story? In regards to Bhad Bhabie making all that coin. Like I said, I'm clearly in the wrong dang business. So let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so now let's move on to our next topic and talk about Alec Baldwin and this whole Rush trial, where apparently they threw it out over, from what they said is that it was dismissed with prejudice. So a New Mexico judge on Friday brought a sudden and stunning end to the involuntary manslaughter case against Alec Baldwin, dismissing it in the middle of the actor's trial and saying it cannot be filed again. So the state has repeatedly made representations to defense and to the court that they were compliant with all their necessary obligations, or discovery obligations, I should say Judge Mary Marlowe. And they said the state is highly culpable for its failure to provide discovery of the defendant. So I do have a clip. I don't know if y'all seen it, but if you haven't, I'm gonna play it for y'all. Where we're gonna see Alec weeping because he's getting off, and I'll give my opinion right after.
Integrity of the judicial system and the efficient administration of justice. Your motion to dismiss with prejudice is granted. Now, with respect to the jury, I don't imagine you all want to return on Monday. I will take care of the jury.
Thank you.
We are in recess.
Okay, so it said, I thought it would probably be a whole lot more to the story. Hold on, I did not want to show that. So yeah, so he's been found. They let it go. They released it, but it kind of makes me wonder: what about the girl that was thrown in jail? Where they said that what's her name, Hannah Gutierrez Reed. Now they're saying in this whole situation, they said the decision by Judge Summer on Friday at the end of the evidentiary hearing over a defense motion to dismiss and bullets dropped off the Santa Fe police in recent weeks by ex-Arizona cop Troy Teskey could see incarcerated Russ Armor Hannah Gutierrez Reed released from state prison in the land of enchantment. Gutierrez Reed's lawyers plan to file a motion for her release ASAP. I hear Judge Sommer was also the judge in the Armorer's trial. In Santa Fe right now, Gutierrez Reed has been brought to the city earlier this week from her prison where she is serving an 18-month sentence out of her own Russ trial in the assumption she would be a witness possibly today in Baldwin's trial. Earlier today, Erlinda Johnson, one of the special prosecutors in the case, resigned because she didn't agree with there being a public hearing on the move by Baldwin. Quinn Emanuel Urquhart and Sullivan to see the matter tossed to the legal curb. Breaking down in tears, the multi-Emmy winning actor was in the courtroom when Judge Summer unveiled her ruling in the defense motion to dismiss based on concealed evidence that Baldwin's lawyer filed late Thursday. It said Hutchins was fatally shot and Russ director Joe Souza was injured on October 21st, 2021, after the Colt 45 Baldwin was pointing at the cinematographer fired off a live round during rehearsal at the Bonanza Creek Ranch, where the indie Western was filming near Santa Fe. Facing up to 18 months in state prison if found guilty, Baldwin has always insisted that while he cocked the hammer, he did not pull the trigger and the gun somehow went off on its own. Now, after Russ ammunition supplier Seth Kinney and a series of Santa Fe Sheriff's Office members gave testimony Friday, including body cam footage of Teskey bringing the ammunition to the cop shop, an exasperated special prosecutor Carrie Morrissey decided to roll the dice and take the stand herself, saying, I could see it was not at all similar to the live rounds on the set of Russ, so I could make the decision not to collect the rounds since they had never left Arizona. This is what Morrissey told the court on the record, as she and police officials had stated before of the ammunition brought in by Teskey. A close friend of Thel Reed, the iconic Hollywood gun coach, and Hannah Gutierrez Reed, I think that's her father too. Well, they said the close friend of Thel Reed, the iconic, the gun coach, I believe is Hannah's father. So Teskey was never called as a witness in the Armorer's trial this spring, and the defendant's own lawyer, Jason Bowles, said he did not want them, according to Morrissey's no long afterwards. Teskey took the ammunition to the police, something the defense claimed they were just informed of despite requiring all the evidence in the case. Over the months since Baldwin was recharged earlier this year, the defense had quibbled over and over about the evidence, discovery, and tactics. In that context, defense lawyer Alec Spiro accused Morrissey of not liking Baldwin and calling him an arrogant prick and a sea-sucker. So here's the thing. It's like, if y'all had the evidence, y'all should have just presented it without being prejudiced because you don't like Alec Baldwin. And here's the thing. There have been many stories about Alec Baldwin not being the nicest person in Hollywood, that he's an asshole, and I've heard all those stories. But when it's a situation where it's based on someone's life and something happened, what should have happened was y'all should have just did the right thing and allowed, the evidence into court and just did what needed to be done in regards of that, instead of, trying to go in and being like, oh, I don't like him and he's a sea sucker and he's an a-hole and all these other things. And so, we're going to do all this other stuff. Now, here's the thing. The one thing about doing these movies or whatever, I will say it is not the actor's job to know about bullets, gun, all the other stuff. Yeah, they do the gun training. You have ballistics people that work on a set that check the guns, make sure there's no live rounds in it, make sure that, whatever the safety protocols are, you say cold loudly, and then you hand the gun over. When you say cold usually means it's a cold gun, it's good to be used. I hope moving forward with this whole situation that they decide to go more of a route of like The Rookie, where they said they're not doing live rounds or whatever the case is on the set anymore. You can find ways of having these fake guns with a clicking noise, and you could add the bullets, you could add the blood, you could add all the other stuff in post. That's what they were doing with John Wick. All those sequences when you seeing people getting shot and the blood splattering, all that was added in post. You can have the gun where it's like it's just making clicking noises and you're acting alongside it or whatever. So that way in post, they know exactly where to inject digitally the bullets, having it come out of the gun, all the post of stuff that they do, the After Effects, all the other stuff they do in post, instead of literally having to shoot things up on a set. There's ways you can get around that. So I hope at this point going forward, because we've been hearing too many things going on with people losing their lives and stuff on movie sets, that when it comes to these stunts and stuff, y'all really need to pay attention moving forward and taking more safety precautions. But I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but I felt like he was gonna get off. I didn't feel like he was gonna go to jail. But now that he ain't going to jail, I feel like Hannah needs to get out. And it's because now it makes people look at it, because he's a celebrity. So now we're going to let him get away with whatever. And too many times we do see celebrities getting away with things where they don't get blamed. But I do feel like in this sense, it is not an actor's job to know fully the situation when it comes to like guns. This is not like, I need to go out and get out a license for the NRA, whatever. I'm playing a character and the gun is supposed to be, it's a prop gun. So there should be no reason why a live round or whatever is getting on the set. And I should have to, if I'm acting in a scene, I need to be worrying about possibly that I'm going to kill somebody. So I know it was hard on him. Now it does make me wonder now, okay, so now he's off. He was found not guilty. They put the case to bed. He can't be tried for it ever again. This does not mean that we get to a place of court of public opinion becomes fact. And now it's like, oh yeah, well, we're going to cancel Alec Baldwin anyway, because we don't like the outcome of the law. The law is the law, and it works the way it's supposed to work. Sometimes things work in people's favor, sometimes it doesn't. So now that this case has been put to bed by actual lawyers and people in the courtroom, and things have been, actual people in actual courtrooms was dealing with this, it is not up to the court of public opinion to decide to put a scarlet A on someone and to crucify them, regardless if it's Alec Baldwin or Kabasa Jenkins down the street, who decided to, make a little movie for YouTube. So that's where it needs to be. We need to move on from that. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do you think that justice was served the way it needed to be served based on the case and all this other stuff? Let me know in the comments. Oh wait, also we know that Alec Baldwin has a reality show coming out with I think it's called, what is it called? The Baldwins Meet the Baldwins, somebody with the Baldwins, with the wife with the fake accent. So so I want to know, do you think that justice was served in this case? Did the judge make the right call? And does this actually, with all this coming out, are you actually curious to watch his upcoming reality show? Me personally, I don't find it entertaining. I don't care. I mean, I'll probably see some clips and I'll take a gander. But whatever y'all thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so Onyx says he's doing all that crying, but is getting blackballed from the industry after this. Well, they did continue to make the movie Rust, so we'll see if it sees the light of day. Because I don't understand why would y'all make the movie if you're not going to show it, and we'll see if they'll find a distributor and put it out. Speaking of which, of movies and things, I want to see that movie The Apprentice with Sebastian Stan playing Donald Trump. I heard it was making the rounds at the Cannes Film Festival. I want to know what's going on with that film. Did they find a distributor yet, or they just was Hollywood too scared? Because they feel like if they put that movie out, Trump petty ass, if he becomes president, hopefully he doesn't, but if he becomes president, that what he'll do is he'll try to find a way to be vindictive and try to shut down Hollywood because, when he get mad, he want to be vindictive. He want to go after everybody. Oh, Hollywood don't like me. They're not going to let me in their little situation. So we're going to destroy it. Which I don't think he can do that, but whatever. They said Alec will be fine. Thoughts on well, funny how you say that because that's one of our stories coming up. So I got an Armie Hammer story. That is coming. But first, we got to get into this Murder Inc. story because Irv Gotti, child, out here being accused of SA. I tell you, this whole reckoning is, child, it's a mess out in these streets. What was going on? Where it's like, damn, they coming after everybody. It's like they had Diddy. Then, oh my God, who was the other one that they had? It was one that was accused of SA. The Dream. Couldn't remember. I almost forgot about him. The Dream. Then we had Russell Simmons. Now we got Irv Gotti. So hip hop's reckoning continues as Irv Gotti, the co-founder of Murder Inc. Records, is the latest music mogul to be sued for SA and battery. A woman identified as Jane Doe filed a complaint in a Miami-Dade County, Florida court on July 11th. She is seeking a jury trial and damages, including those for mental anguish. So this is according to the Miami New Times, I should point out. So as a result of this SA relationship, plaintiff has suffered severe emotional and psychological harm for which she had to be committed to a psych ward. This is what the lawsuit attached at the bottom of the story reads. These injuries continued and affect plaintiff to this day. The woman alleges that she and Gotti met through a mutual friend at a poker tournament in the summer of 2020, and Gotti invited her on a vacation to St. Martin afterward. But upon arriving on the Caribbean island, Gotti allegedly coerced her into having sex with him, threatening to send her home if she didn't. Due to his power and influence in the music world, she complied. He still got power and influence? Okay. Because I feel like after Murder Inc. went down the toilet, he really didn't have that much influence, but we'll just entertain it. Following the St. Martin trip, the woman and Gotti began dating. Wait, so his power and influence in the music world, he forced you into a quid pro quo type situation. And then after the trip, where he basically assaulted you, you started dating him? The suit claims that during their 2-year relationship, she suffered constant abuse at the hands of the rap mogul who demanded that she perform unwanted acts and berated her. For instance, when Gotti flew the woman to Miami in January of 2022 and they stayed at the Four Seasons Hotel, he forced her to perform a baloney wash on him in the elevator, according to the lawsuit. That summer, when he flew her out to Atlanta, he allegedly forced her to perform another baloney wash on him in an Uber. Well, y'all need to find the damn Uber driver, but I guess, since it's 2 years ago, who can remember who was driving the car while she was, slobbing that nog? So following the event, the relationship ended. This is what the lawsuit reads. The lawsuit also alleges that Gotti has slandered the woman to his vast social network in and around LA, leaving her fearful to leave home. He currently boasts 1 million followers on Instagram. As of Monday afternoon, an attorney wasn't listed on behalf of Gotti for the case, probably because he's just not hearing about it. New Times was unable to reach the producer for comment. In 1997, the Queens native co-founded Murder Inc. with his brother, based on the short-lived supergroup of Jay-Z, DMX, and Ja. Why do I not remember that there was a super group with Jay-Z, DMX, and Ja Rule? Well, they did say it was short-lived, but how damn short was it? Because, yeah, I don't even remember that. I remember The Firm before I remember, that one. That was Nas, AZ, and Foxy Brown. Now, I was for that super group. So they said that the label was launched under the Def Jam Recordings umbrella and released records by Ashanti, Ja Rule, and Vanessa Carlton. Its reputation took a hit after Gotti and his brother were accused of using the label to launder drug money. They were both ultimately acquitted of criminal charges. Gotti appears to have most recently pivoted to television and film. In 2017, he created the BET anthology series Tales, and in 2022, he released a 6-part docuseries called The Murder Inc. Story. And you know what? Me thinking about this, I kind of believe it. Even though I was kind of side-eyeing some of the stuff of like, okay, so sis, with the whole, okay, I went over to the island and he coerced me into situation. That I can understand because it's like you out there in a foreign land, this man had you under false pretenses or other stuff. But then after what he did to you, you continue to date him. That part I don't get. But there must be more to the situation that we don't know about that we'll find out as this suit progresses. So I'm trying not to be too side-eye with this situation because the math ain't mathing in my opinion. But they say believe women, so I'm gonna just go along with that for the time being. But girl, I'm side-eyeing some of this stuff. It's got a couple of holes in it. More holes than a cottage cheese. So, but based off of some of the vile, disgusting things, like he's cheated on his wife over the years and the shit he said about Ashanti, like, I kind of believe it. But, Irv, if you did do this, ain't no good gonna come to you until, you do right by this woman. But hold on, let me go to see what the comments are saying. What is the people saying? Because that'll be the more interesting part. So some people said, why is she suing instead of filing a police report? She just wants a payday. I'm tired of people always saying that. Another person said, so the ultimatum he gave her was have sex or go home. She willingly stayed and then decided to file this nonsense some years later. I'm throwing this case out if I'm the judge. Well, I'm glad you're not the judge. But look, I guess in so many ways, they kind of looking at it the same way I'm looking at it. How did it progress into a relationship after the first situation of him threatening to send you home? Another person said threatening to send you home. If she's somewhere she doesn't want to be getting assaulted, I would think home would be ideal, but that's just me. So a lot of people up in here saying that they feel like it's a money grab and all this other stuff. So, and here is the papers, the lawsuit, the whole situation that's going down in the situation. I probably should have went through all of this, but I feel like y'all got enough of the cliff notes in regards to the whole situation. So I'll say all this to say, I feel like people's opinions is valid. Now, there's been some people where I'll be up in the comments and I'll be like, side eye, like, really? But I feel like those questions are kind of warranted. It's like, oh, he's threatening to kiss in your house. Okay, well, put my ass back on a plane. Like, it's not worth it. Like, I'm not sitting up here letting you assault me because you want some pussy and I'm not giving it to you. Like, okay, put my ass back on a plane. I guess I'm gonna take my ass home. And there's been many times where I've been in situations where guys have tried to get things out of me and I've been like, okay, well, my mama taught me better, so I'm gonna send my ass home then. I guess we not fucking then. Like, it's been a lot of situations like that. So I say what I say. What do y'all think of this story? Do y'all believe her? I mean, we're always told to be inclined to believe women, but I don't know. Something in the milk ain't clean. I need more details on this whole situation. So let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so he's a douchebag, but he's not guilty for firing a prop. Exactly. It's like, yeah, we know that Alec Baldwin's a dick, but based off of the me following him over the years. But yeah, I do feel like he's not guilty of the prop gun situation. That's up to the person that you have on set that's supposed to be handling that. And I know that Alec is a producer, but there's levels to producing. It's not just that one producer does one thing. So it's like, are you a producer in name only? Are you a producer someone who was in charge of getting people to finance your film? Like, what level of producer were you on set? So I said, what about his situation? Exactly. That's why I said it's like on one hand, the shit he said about Ashanti, I'm inclined to, I mean, and you know, I'm inclined to believe it. But look, Ashanti in a better place. She got Nelly. That's her new husband. You know, they managed to do what Hannaford could never do and make a relationship work for them after get back with her ex. And she got a baby on the way. And she don't got to deal with her trifling ass. So I'm inclined to believe on that one point, but this has kind of got me looking at this whole situation too. It's like this and you know, a toxic relationship equals SA. And sometimes I know some girls do that, where it's like, oh well, the relationship was toxic. It didn't work out the way I want to work it out, so I'm gonna follow suit and say that you assaulted me. It's like, huh? I mean, it wasn't like he was Diddy. But to me, in my opinion, Diddy had way more power and influence in the industry than um Irv Gotti. Yeah, that's what I said. Like we all side eye in the situation. And how you doing, Sailor Mermaid? Okay, so now let's get into the Armie Hammer story. Because I saw that this came out yesterday. I did not watch the interview because Bill Maher irks my damn root canal nerve. I can't really get behind him anymore. Like, I used to be a fan of Bill Maher, but I just feel like he's been so radicalized. He says so much crazy shit. And he's a fucking Zionist. Like, he had the nerve to go on The View and say some lies and stuff about and pander and look down on a lot of those college kids who was out protesting. Whoopi Goldberg's another one that does the same damn thing. And I got a story about her too. But when she talk about how she stayed licking the taint of Joe Biden, and a lot of they believe they really don't be giving real political opinions on that show. I just watch it for entertainment purposes. But anyway, let's get into Armie Hammer. I said, that's such a good looking man, but what the hell happened to him? So Armie admitted that he's never been happier despite being broke more than 3 years after being canceled over the R word and cannibal allegations. Armie Hammer joined Bill Maher in his Club Random. I almost said Curb Your Enthusiasm. Club Random podcast for a rare interview since a series of sexual misconduct and abuse allegations derailed his career. The Call Me By Your Name and the Social Network star said he was grateful for the fallout because had none of this gone on, my life would have kept going exactly as it was. And I know that that would ultimately only lead in one place, and that's death. Now, after SA allegations surfaced against Hammer, the actor exited a number of film and television projects and was dropped by his publicist and agent at WME. The LAPD and LA District Attorney's Office investigated claims in 2023 and brought no criminal charges against Hammer due to insufficient evidence. Hammer denies the allegations and holds that his often intense sexual relationships with the accusers was consensual. So it made me think, because if they could find no sufficient evidence, you know, if it was insufficient evidence what these people brought against him, then why is he still canceled? Is it because that, you know, he did have this intense sexual appetite that he was saying that, you know what, it was kind of getting out of control. Like, yeah, there were points where there were texts or whatever saying that he want to eat the body parts of the women he was fornicating with. And he was just in this whole mindset that it's just like, okay, so where did this stem from? Because if you from the House of Hammer, which wasn't there a documentary called House of Hammer? That's where I think I got that from. And you know, he is of the Armie Hammer empire, like his father, grandfather, that sort of thing. And there have been stories about his family and him, you know, that had to be a learned behavior of whatever kind of abuse or whatever that was going on in that household. So they said, okay, so I was right. It said when asked if he viewed the allegations, many of which were detailed in the 2022 Discovery Plus docuseries House of Hammer, as a blessing in disguise, Hammer said 1,000,000% yeah. Or yeah, 1,000,000, yeah, it was 1,000,000%. I was like, was it 1,000? I experienced an ego death, a career death, financial death, all of those things. You've got to die. And once you die, you can then be reborn. Becoming a pariah due to the allegations was incredibly liberating, he added, because previously Hammer was preoccupied with how I was perceived, which now I don't have to care about. Once everyone just decides that they hate you, you go, oh, well, then I don't need anything from you people anyway. Among the allegations against Hammer are that he engaged in cannibalism fantasies, coerced his partners into BDSM scenarios, and carved his initial into a woman's body. He denies all allegations of non-consensual sexual conduct, but said there is other bad behavior he admits to. He said, and I was about to say, you better name it, name them, like my girl Sutton Track says. He said, I cheated on my wife. I used people to make me feel better. I was callous and inconsiderate with people and their emotions and their well-being, and that is shitty behavior. There are things in my behavior that I have to take accountability for, right? Because that is pivotal for me, learning and growing from it. Addressing the LAPD investigation, Hammer said, I was under the sword of Damocles. Legally speaking, for 2.5 years, they went through phones, emails, eyewitness reports. They investigated me for 2.5 years in a time where if they could have nailed someone like me, it would have been such a boon for the LAPD. Elsewhere in the interview, Hammer discussed, selling timeshares in the Cayman Islands. This is what I heard about too. And that's how he was making his money, because he has kids. And which became tabloid fodder in 2022 after photos of the actor working in a hotel resort surfaced online. He said, I loved it. It's so fun. Of selling timeshares. Mars said that after he saw the photos of Hammer working at a hotel, he thought, fuck, this guy has balls. To which Hammer replied, that's the wrong vowel. It's bills. I have 2 kids. So when asked why he didn't borrow from his oil family's fortune, Hammer said, it's so complicated. I have come to a place where I understand that there are no free lunches, and anything that you take always has strings, especially from people who love to give, because then they know they've got strings, right? So what I would rather do is I would rather go get a job selling timeshares. I'd rather go get a job. He said, I applied for a job to be a drama teacher. I applied for a job to be a landscaper. I applied for a job to be a building manager, and the Cayman Islands refused to give me work permits. So there's that. But I don't know, there was a lot that was said in that whole situation. And I just feel like if they could find nothing against him, and then he did say that, I was doing some things that I'm not proud of, that I was out here cheating and I was using people and I was being a manipulator and all these other things. So it kind of makes you wonder, was he bringing that also to his sexual conquest? And when he was cheating on his wife and getting with these other women, was he doing that in the context with these people? So it's kind of got me wondering with that. But I'm glad he's doing the interviews. I don't know if they'll ever give him an opportunity to get back into the good graces of Hollywood, but I always feel like this. It's like with him and Jonathan Majors and so many other people, if they've done their time, if there was no evidence that they could find off the allegations, why does the court of public opinion still crucify people if the court of law could not find anything to hold against them? Like, where's the marks of him carving his initials in this woman? Wouldn't that be like permanent? So I just wonder what all these things. It's like I feel like at times we get into this whole me's 2 times up situation, and that whole era has been so tainted by so many people coming in and just chopping and screwing it with things, where it's just like, what is the real meaning behind Me Too and Time's Up? Yeah, we want to believe when people are abused and all that stuff, and we know that women and men who are abused go unreported or underreported, and we want to believe people, but when people are tried, because I always look at things on a case-by-case basis, we shouldn't lump everybody and everything under one umbrella. Then why do we go at this point where we still crucify the person even though they've been vindicated, or that there haven't been any of the evidence that these people have said, and they've investigated him for 2 years? Why do we still crucify the person? Like, I get Diddy, and there's evidence against him. There's always been stories about him. There's always been things that are going on about him, and he's getting his just. But if there was nothing to behold, if they couldn't find nothing on Armie, then why is he still being crucified and treated like like he got the scarlet letter on his forehead? So that's what I asked. But I asked all of you, what do you think of this story? Let me know in the comments down below. And it said, we do have this anti-BDSM vibe. I feel that plays into it. The community beat. Yeah, it's like people are into the whole, S&M, body type of situations, where they like getting whipped and they do the clamps and they do all kinds of freaky sexual stuff. But I was trying to wonder, what was the whole thing about the grinder thing? Because I didn't hear anything in regards to that. I know you mentioned something or another about it, but I don't know much of anything about the whole grinder thing that he said, that you said it pissed you off. And it said it must be nice to step out of the spotlight and randomly decide to be a drama teacher. Can you imagine walking into the room and like you looking at the dude from The Social Network or Call Me by Your Name, or what was the movie that he did with Henry Cavill where they play spies? I actually like that movie. It's like you get to walk in, you see this big Hollywood movie star that's your drama teacher. And you know what they say? Because once you've been canceled, what those who can't do teach, right? So they said, when I heard Robert Downey Jr. was mentoring him, I knew Hollywood would launch a very strategic Is this recent that Robert Downey Jr. is mentoring him, is like trying to take him on his ring? And I guess you know what? That'll be a good hook. Look, it's all about perception in the world. Politics, entertainment, it's all about perception. And you can easily change people's perception if you put in the work and you're convincing about it. But if Robert Downey Jr. is mentoring, remember, Robert Downey Jr. was at a point where he was canceled by Hollywood because he was a damn junkie. And then his rock bottom was he ended up passed out on drugs in some little kid's bed and went to jail. And then, he was trying to make that comeback. Kevin Feige took a chance on him, put him in Iron Man, and everybody done forgot about, his past. They don't hold it against him because he humbled himself, got himself together, got himself clean. I miss those days. What about the days of people actually putting in the work to rehabilitate themselves, their mind, body, and spirit, and their image, and we give them another chance? I was like, well, Will Smith, he smacked Chris Rock. People still want to hold that grudge against him. I'm like, he paid his dues. He got banned from Hollywood. Well, not Hollywood. He got banned from the Oscars for 10 years, which is fine. Let him go back and do his entertainment movie. Then try to revive Big Willie Weekend. Bad Boys was successful. They talking about they doing a sequel to Men in Black, where some people think it's a Men in Black 21 Jump Street crossover. I've been hearing that. So they're looking to revive Men in Black with Will Smith, because that one with Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson was terrible. And we're supposed to get an I'm Legend sequel, so it looks like that Will Smith is just reviving a lot of his old IPs. And that's what it seems like is happening now. So people are giving him a chance, and I feel like everybody deserves a second chance. And then there's some that need to burn in the fiery pits of hell, like Mr. Combs. But anyway, let's see. We got 3 more topics and we are done with today's show. But before we get to those topics, if you could do so, because we're halfway through the show already, or almost done with the show, could you please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification button, so that way it helps with the algorithm and all that good stuff. Okay, so now I'm feeling so Julia. Let's talk about Julia Fox, who is opening up, and she mentioned this on her TikTok. We do have the TikTok, so I'm going to play the clip for y'all, but let me set it up, the story. So she is getting real about why she departed a recent project that she was doing and has accused the director of being a damn racist. So Julia claims that she quit a project with a major A-list icon over a white man director's alleged racism during a conversation about diversity. So we do have the clip, courtesy of her TikTok, and then we'll talk. It's a bit of a long one, so let the future Debbie Mazur on the big screen spill the tea.
Okay, so the craziest thing just happened to me, and I am looking for validation on this because I just feel like I'm being gaslit at such an insane scale. I took notes. So I've been attached to a project for 5 years. I've really, given creative contributions to it.
Wait, why did it pause? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna refresh it and see if it plays again. Yeah, we're gonna try that again. And take two.
I just feel like I'm being gaslit at such an insane scale. I took notes. So I've been attached to a project for 5 years. I've really, given creative contributions to it, emotional contributions to it. It was like my baby. I even brought on like a major A-list icon to play alongside me. And everything was going great until this white man director came in. Let's just say our first phone call didn't go very well. I thought it went well, but I guess it didn't go well for him. And he was trying to kick me off the project. Meanwhile, I've been there for 5 years. He's been there for a week. So we have a second call. And on the first call, I had mentioned that I really thought it was important to have diversity in our cast, in our lead cast. And I took notes because he said, why? White people have it really hard too. And plus, diversity casting is like using Black people as puppets. Meanwhile, we're actors. We're all fucking puppets. What are you talking about? Anyway, white people don't have a duty to cast Black people because so many Black projects happen and Asian projects, and nobody gets mad that there's no white people in the cast. He said, turn on Netflix, turn on any streamer. It's all Black projects. Go to India. All the movies in India have all Indian people. Nobody gets mad that they don't have diversity. And I said, honey, white people have been the default up until now, okay? Let them have their all Indian movies. Then he said, what are you talking about? Wake up. We are in 2024. This isn't 2005 or something. So I guess according to him, racism is a thing of the past. It was giving Proud Boy. It was giving All Lives Matter. It was giving white supremacy. And at that point, I was done arguing. And I said, you know what? I can't work with you. I'm done. I'm pulling out of this project. Good luck. But unfortunately, I have very strong beliefs, and these are things that I will not compromise on. Then I said that white people have a duty to include minority groups into our projects because we have opportunities handed to us so much more easily. He said that wasn't true. They don't. He was saying that he has had a hard time. And he's probably had a hard time because of his shitty fucking personality. Anyway, yeah, I'll probably out him at some point. But obviously, I've grown to love the people attached, the producers, the writers, the other actor in question. And I don't want to blow up this whole thing for them. But I just can't believe I'm having conversations like this. In 2024, I'm just so heartbroken. I'm so appalled. I feel so gaslit. Yeah. Anyway, you live and you learn. I'd like to add another anecdote. Because of me insisting to have diversity in our lead cast, he said, it felt like you wanted to be the director or something. And in that moment, he really showed not just his racism, but also his misogyny, because I didn't tap dance for him. I didn't do the little pleasantries. I didn't do the I love your movies. These movies suck. I just, we'd been on the project for 5 years. I just wanted it to get made at that point, and I was being very direct with him in the things that I thought we needed in order to make this movie amazing for all groups of people to be able to enjoy. And he just completely sucked the life out of it.
Okay, so I feel like y'all got the whole point of what she was trying to say, and this is the thing that irritates me is the fact that so I'm all for diversity and whatever, but it's always these uppity, stank, racist white people that we work in the industry that's like, well, why do you always have to make everything diverse or woke or whatever the case is? I hate how y'all weaponize that damn word and taking the true meaning out of the word woke when it's the fact that it's bringing awareness to marginal people who are marginalized or from marginalized communities. So it's like, yeah, you don't see Indian people complaining because when you're in India and you're making your movies or whatever, they're making movies specifically for their audience. When you have specific movies that are with an all black cast, we're doing that because we don't see ourselves on the big screen enough. White people, I don't know why people always think like when we bring these things up, it's to make white people feel guilt for things that have happened in the past. It's just like, okay, now your damn racism is showing at this point. So I never understood why a lot of times y'all go into that. It's just like, you know what, you're pretty much just showing your racism. I love the fact when we have allies in the community, like a Julia and so many others, who are like, you know what, it's really important that we have a diverse cast, or I want to show, because this is, my upbringing, this is where I've come from. If I'm passionate about certain things, like, yeah, it needs to reflect the environment in which I'm from or where I grew up or that sort of thing. And yeah, I want diverse people in these films or in whatever project I'm working on, because that's the thing that I want. And for people to always want to just put white folks in everything, this is the complaint that I think a lot of people who are othered, women, gays, trans, people of color, black, Latino, whatever, who we are on the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to a lot of content and stuff. And we just want to be seen in a lot of these situations. So this whole thing about where you have these people in the industry who are hires up that are gatekeepers that want to come in and change things, but why we have to have this person that's black, and you don't hear them complain about these other films, because it's like we don't see ourselves. What we as artists have to do is be the change we want to see. We have to create the content because y'all don't want to put us in nothing. So, and we hear this argument all the time when you hear certain actors are like, you know what? Like even the other day, Whoopi Goldberg was on The View, and we're going to talk about her in a second, has a comic book. I didn't know. I forgot she had a comic book. And she said it's basically a woman who is an older woman who's not like the whole svelte, typical body type, but she develops her powers through menopause. I'm like, that's genius. Like, I'm going through the change. So now all of a sudden, that's when I developed my powers. And she was like, she developed it as a project for herself, but she aged out. And so she created it as a comic book or whatever. So I'm like, that's genius. When you don't see yourself reflected, you create those opportunities. You create the world that you want to see, because white people don't ever have to worry about being ostracized, being looked down upon, having to fight for things. Y'all have shit handed to you. And that's why I think the root of this whole stuff with Trump and them is coming from. They don't like that the world is changing. They don't like that they're not at the top of the food chain. So they start with the fear mongering. They start with all this other stuff to be able to maintain this illusion of power. So that's where all that's rooted from. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, hold on, child, because I came across this thing. Shout out to D.L. Hughley, because they are reading Amber Rose for filth on social media. So I had to put this in at the last second. Should I create a thing? I should probably call it Amber Rose is so tired. Yeah, hold on, because that's what I'm going to put. Yeah, that's going to be the headline. For the bottom. So yeah, she is so tired. So I came across this thing. Shut up there, because we're gonna play these clips, chair. So apparently Amber Rose is mad because Joy Reid dragged her by the little peas in her damn head in regards to when she read her for points on MSNBC. So hold on, because I'm gonna pull this up so y'all can see it. So, of course, apparently that bald-headed backsliding whore decided to get on social media and tweet at at Joy, because apparently the true her. She said, "Hi at Joy Ann Reid. I've never said I wasn't black. I said I identify as biracial. I'm not gonna invalidate my white father." See, girl, you need to learn how to spell and shit before you get on social media and start trying to read back. So, my white father, to make you feel more comfortable. Stop being a race baiter. Your president does enough race baiting for us, all of us. And the one that you licking the taint of his ass isn't. And that unwashed, skid mark and drawed wearing ass Trump. So, Diego said, who gonna tell her? At Joanne Reid literally said what you said, that you are racially ambiguous and that she did not want to mislabel you as a black woman. I think he meant to put because here we go with the Kanye all caps mess. Because you have previously stated you are not. All the energy for nothing. As far as race baiting, if I had $1 for every time someone from MAGA /right/Republicans use DEI as a derogatory term, and they do, I'd give Jeff Bezos a run for his money. # Team DL. But let's play the clips, chat. So they said Amber Rose calls out commentator Joanne Reid and says she never said she was black. Bitch, you have. And Jocelyn Hernandez will beg to differ. And I know in this little carousel, they got the Jocelyn clip up in there. So it said, however, in February of 2015, Amber sat down with Peter Rosenberg on Hot 97 and said she didn't consider herself a black woman. Yeah, you sat in front of that white man, and shout out to Peter Rosenberg. He's not, like that with them other people, because he's over there with Ebro and all of them, and he does ride for the black people. So this bitch went and got herself on social media and did say that in that interview. So she said she wasn't a black woman. As the conversation of Amber's race continues to be a topic, everyone online keeps bringing up Jocelyn Hernandez and Amber's exchange of words during BET's College Hill, where they got to that fight. That shit was legendary. But please hold as we remind us whole of what she said.
Do you think like a mixed race person, right?
Right.
However, I think culturally in America, you're considered black. Do you think that's how people perceive you? And is that how you perceive yourself?
I do not consider myself a black woman. Absolutely not.
What do you consider yourself?
Biracial.
Black. Do you think like a mixed race person, right?
She said what she said. Now let's proceed with the rest of the carousel.
Stop being so sensitive, because you and I are very cool. So for you to
but it's not about being sensitive.
But you are being sensitive.
No, but if you're not a mixed race,
you're not white though. You're black.
My father is white though.
Okay, but to me, your mother's.
But that's not
black.
about you. It's about me.
It is about me when I feel like fuck. I want to say you can't check me on that, and if you go and check me, then check me.
Okay, I checked you. I'm checking you now.
But you're not. Fuck about how you feel.
I don't give because I can say the same thing about you.
I consider you a white person. So that's the thing.
But it's not about what you consider. That's the whole point.
You mix like me. You mix like, you know what's your problem? Your problem is that you really want to be a white girl. Let's just get down to the point.
Jocelyn.
No, Professor. Let's get down to the point. Jocelyn. Your problem is that you really don't even want to be black. Stop being so sensitive, because you and I are very cool. So for you to
but it's not about being.
Okay, so Jocelyn, child, you a mess. But when she said what she said, she said what she said. And look, I guess she seen that interview because she called you out on your shit. And nobody's saying you got to deny your father and all this other stuff. Just like I don't deny the fact that I'm a multiracial person as well. My father is black, my mother is not. So I don't deny all the parts of who I am, like this bitch does. Sitting out there tap dancing, and then I wonder how Tim Scott and all of them out there feel. Vivek, all of y'all sitting out there tap dancing for the orange asshole, and he didn't even pick y'all. Did all that tap dancing for nothing.
A member of Congress who was a Republican came out immediately and blamed the incident on DEI and said that the fact that there were women and Black people in the Secret Service is the reason this happened. That is a member of Congress who went out on the TV and said to the world that DEI was the cause of an assassination attempt. This is where the Republican Party is. So it's ironic that they were able to recruit this young woman who, she's a racially ambiguous. I don't want to say she's Black because she has said she's not. So I don't want to say this Black woman, this woman who is of whatever race that she has claimed. She said she's not Black. but they brought somebody whose whole career is based in Black culture. She used to be on a show on BET. That's the reason most people know who she is. She dated one of the most prominent African-American rappers in the business in the history of hip hop. So her whole culture came from Black culture, even though she says she's not a Black person herself. And the fact, a member of Congress who was
So we had to point out, because apparently, these people like Amber Rose and all of them, they all got short-term memories. And it's like, you're gonna sit up there, if you're gonna sit up there and tap dance for white approval, because clearly you want to be a white girl, which Jocelyn clocked you on it and you didn't like it. Now I know, say what you want about Jocelyn, but one of the things I will ride for is people who say it like they mean it and in an unfiltered way. So she clocked Amber. We see the bitch for who she is. Now the worst part is how that son doing, because the father got arrested for lighting up drugs over in, I forget where he was. He got arrested in another country because he got high on stage. Y'all can't be lighting up drugs every damn where. And then, his mother out here being a damn pick-me. So I know that child's probably gonna go through years of trauma because both his parents are a damn mess. But shout out to you, Wiz. You dodged the bullet. One of the things I found funny was somebody said that I found as the ultimate cackle was the fact that said, now look at the bitch. It said, no wonder her man left her for Cher. Because her ex, A.E. Edwards, Alexander, is dating Cher. Left her old dusty ass for Cher, an icon. So anyway, I just had to add that to the thing because I was like, y'all need to see that because I was cackling when I was playing that Julia Fox video earlier. So let me know what y'all think of this old clown in the comments, because if Trump don't win, you was out here windmilling it for that fool for what? I hope it was worth it. I hope it was worth, the little 10 minutes of relevance it gave you or infamy. Because after this, you are truly done. Ain't nobody gonna fuck with her after this. You think they're gonna end up put on another season of College Hill or another reality show? I don't see it happening. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Okay, so they said, Robo says, Julia Fox has earned a new fan. Just imagine if all white people did this when they encounter racism. Exactly. It's like sometimes it ain't always about the money. It ain't always about, I need to just jump on something because, I'm going to stay silent because I want to get this movie made. But if you're going to play in my face and try to fuck up the thing that I've been working so hard on, then it's not worth it. I don't need to work on your project. I'll find something else to do. Like I'll focus on my music career, which Charlie XCX has been helping her with getting into the whole music game. So focus on that. And I don't know if that OMG fashion show that she did with Laura Roche is coming back, but we'll see how that does. But she'll always find a way to get a bag. They said Iran's alleged plot to unallow Trump is exposed. Wait, this some tea that came out about it? Oh, they're gonna get his ass. And it said it's always about racial with a white dad that tend to be racist towards their own kind. Okay. It's crazy that Amber Rose grew up in the ballrooms and had a legacy. She came up in the ballroom scene. Well, she do got the head for it. Shit, me too. Just like when they were talking about when I was talking about earlier with Candace Owens was talking about how they, there's something was fishy about the whole attempt on Trump at the, in Pennsylvania, because the Secret Service scopes out the areas to make sure, like, to know, okay, where the exits, where people could possibly try to take out the president or whatever the case is. Like, there's all of that comes into place. So you taking all that time to all of a sudden, like, none of y'all did what y'all was supposed to do. So they always send them out beforehand. But I need Black folks to remember that Jocelyn is another one who likes to act like she's above Black women and constantly well, yeah, but we all can't be perfect. Amber is selling red mother hat. Of course, she's trying to use this as a way to like she's dick riding off the back of Trump and his whole racist regime, taking a marketing page out of his handbook to profit. That's all this is. Dad should have pulled out the reject. Look, but sometimes when I can't stand somebody, I said your mama should have swallowed. And it said because she feels like she's better than them, so I wouldn't give her too much praise. Well, you know, Jocelyn always been a hot ass mess. She plays into that. I think it's that whole pimp hoe mentality because that's the world she come from. So she was incorporating that, especially with Lemmy corny ass and them over there at that damn Zeus network. So she was acting like she was a pimp with Jocelyn Cabaret and trying to act like she got all these whores that she got on the show. And she, you know, and now was getting the head of Secret Service fired. Is the person who's the head of the Secret Service, is it the head of his Secret Service? Because, you know, like, once you become president, you get Secret Service to protect you for the rest of your life. Okay, so we have 2 more topics and then we are done with today's show. So let's get to Miss Whooping, who spilled the tea on where she spread her mama ashes. She took it to Disneyland because she said her mama was a fan of It's a Small World. I remember I did get to ride that ride when I went to Disney World. I never been to Disneyland. So Whoopi has confessed to scattering her mother's ashes in a very unusual location, but issued a warning to deter fans from following her footsteps. Now, retelling the experience, which she also detailed in her new memoir, Bits and Pieces, My Mother, Brother, and Me, Goldberg was on Late Night with Seth Meyers last week to discuss the moment. Apparently, Goldberg's mother, Emma Harris, was a devoted fan of Disneyland attraction It's a Small World, where her ashes were sprinkled. She said, "No one should do this. Don't do it," Goldberg, 68, playfully warned the audience around the 5-minute mark of the video. Well, I can't play it because, you know, NBC, and I ain't trying to get demonetized, so I'm just have to read it. She said she loves Small World, so in the Small World ride, periodically I scoop some of her up and I do this poof, and I said, "My God, this cold is getting worse and worse." And then we got over to the flowers where she says Disneyland, where it says Disneyland. I was like, "Oh, look at that, poof." While Goldberg faked a sneezing fit while visiting the park with her brother Clyde, who also passed away. He died in 2015. She later fessed up that, you know, what she had done to park officials. Disney parks, including Walt Disney World in Florida, have long banned the spread of human remains, threatening to remove guests from their premises, temporarily closing affected attractions, along with taking legal action. But this hasn't stopped guests from honoring the last wishes of their deceased loved ones, and Goldberg might have gone home with a slap on the wrist. I told them I did it. I wanted to make sure, actually, that I hadn't done something that was dangerous because it hadn't occurred to me. But there's a reason they don't want asses just floating around. Yeah, because I don't want them damn spirits affecting. If I'm on a ride and minding my business and trying to enjoy myself, I don't need them spirits trying to come and, you know, get up in me and shit. So, listen, in Bits and Pieces, Goldberg wrote about sneaking her mother's ashes into Small World and why Harris chose the ride as her final resting place, saying it was her vision of what human beings should be, these children of the world, all colors, religions, and cultures together. Disney had made it seem possible that all the kids in the world would hold hands in unity. The day Clyde and I took her ashes to Disneyland, it's possible a lot of her went into the Small World ride. Her favorite, we were subtle about it, kind of sneezing Ma out here and there when no one was looking. We didn't get caught, but I confessed it later to a park employee. They weren't surprised, and they certainly were not happy about it. Well, look, I'll tell you a story. I mean, I know a lot of people. Do people? I mean, I'll tell you my own story. Like, I never did a ride or anything, but I remember when my goddaughter's mother passed away, and then she came to live with me, and then I raised her. We took her to Jones Beach and spread her ashes out there. I was worried because I was like, is this a legal thing to do? Like, can you spread somebody's ashes on the beach? And I guess people do it all the time, but yeah, that's something that I did. And I say, for me, I don't want to, like, my parents, my grandfather, my mother's mother, I got a lot of family members that have plots already. Even my sister had plots out in Pine Lawn, which is like this big cemetery out on Long Island. And I thought about it. I mean, my grandfather has an extra plot that he's like, oh, I guess, if you want to buy that spot for, like, maybe, I think he said he paid for like $3,000 for it, but I think now 20 years later, it's worth like 30 grand or something or another. First of all, it's too damn expensive. I think I want to be cremated, and I want, like, my close friends or whatever the case is, because I don't know if I'm still on the fence of whether or not I want to bring children into the world. But because my sister, my damn brother ain't trying to extend the family line. So I'm probably like, damn, do I need to put all that pressure on me to have children? But if it comes down to it, I feel like what I want to do is be cremated and have my ashes spread. Now I gotta figure out exactly where I want it to be spread. But I actually want that to happen. I don't want nobody to hold on to my body parts. Because I heard Shannon Doherty was cremated. She wanted to be mixed with her dog and somebody else. I forget who else it was. I read something or another about that. But I would love to have my ashes spread somewhere. I just got to think about where it is. Maybe in Spain or Greece or somewhere or another. Maybe they could put me on like the grounds of like a sex party, a gay club, whatever, so I can haunt that place for the rest of my life. So I don't know. It's something I'm, I try not to think about death because there's sometimes where I do feel like, even though I'm still relatively young, I do have these thoughts every now and again about the Grim Reaper and death and how like, oh yeah, we're not going to be here forever. That yes, one day I'm not going to be on this earth. And how would I like to go? But I've always thought about cremation. I don't want to be buried. I see too many. It's like I just feel like it's just wasted money, and I don't want bugs eating me. I want to do the eating, eating ass. So I say, well, let's say, what do y'all think of this? I mean, and also let me know how y'all ever thought about how y'all want to go? Because like I said, I want to be cremated, but let me know in the comments down below. Okay, I was trying to see if I could do an under 2-hour show like I did yesterday, but yeah, we're gonna go over because Elliott with 2 T's, that story, we gotta definitely get into that one. That's probably gonna be a long one. But like you said, but it's crazy how they gave Amber the platform that Candace should have gotten. I know, because I'm like, Candace almost been tap dancing for the love, but I guess Candace is so obvious with her tap dancing, so they probably feel that Amber Rose, and I think also what it is, the Democrats have pretty much lost the younger vote. And that's because of the whole thing about Palestine and all the other stuff. So I feel like what they're doing is they think Amber Rose is the answer, and they think this vice president, because he's 39, they think that this is a way to pander to the base. But these kids out here protesting with Israel and Palestine, they don't like neither one. They don't like Trump and they don't like Biden. So they're not voting for Trump. But I don't know if they're going to be smart enough to be like, you know what? They realize where our democracy is at stake. And they feel like, well, it seems like if the Democrats don't care and the Republicans are trying to destroy the country, like, do we just sit on our ass and not vote? Is Jocelyn in jail? I need to look into that. And so I had heard about people spreading ashes in the haunt. I mean, I believe it. I'm sure that people do it everywhere, like in a lot of these rides and all this other stuff. But that, to me, that's insane. But anyway, let's get to this final story, which is all about Elliott with 2 T's. Now, I told y'all, see, now y'all know I don't be lying when I be telling y'all stuff. Because I told y'all weeks ago that there was a Elliott with 2 T's exclusive interview with Joseph Shepard. And yesterday, to my surprise, when I got on social media, it dropped. The interview came out. I had to pull up this picture because my friend David laughed at the photo. So shout out to him. I know right now he's doing a little something with Pangina. Pangina has a show, a food show that is on Wow Presents Plus. He's actually working on that right now. We had a long talk today because we was talking about the whole Elliott with 2 T's thing. I said, guess what? I watched the video. He was like, hey, what were your thoughts? Because I want to give him credit. He was the one that basically reached out to Joseph Shepard because they worked with each other on some stuff. And he was like, you should do an interview with him because, all these people have been saying so much stuff about you. There's been this crazy narrative about you over the years, and this should be the opportunity for you to really set the record straight. So they sat down, they did the interview. I do have a clip of one of the things that they talked about, and that would be the one where Candy and Simone had said that she had said some kind of stuff, allegations or whatever the case is, of, racism stuff behind the scenes on Drag Race. So shout out to Out Magazine who put this the package all together. But I actually had the video because I watched it as soon as I got off the line. I saw like it was up. I was like, oh, here we go. And then Felix, if you're still in the building, he messaged me and was like, I don't know if you watched it, but here's the Elliott video. So he spilled all the tea following their run on season 13, and things got a little messy. So it says the aftermath of the Queen's appearance on Drag Race was littered with controversy after some of her fellow castmates hinted at her being racist and transphobic toward them on the show, which landed her with the moniker Elliott with 3 Ks. Throughout it all, Elliott had remained tight-lipped, but over 3 years after her season premiered, she opened up on the latest episode of Exposed with Joseph Shepard. The two even went as far as to watch clips of other queens talking about her and read the controversy section of her Wikipedia page, and Elliott specifically responded to each comment, which I actually liked that they were not afraid to answer all the questions and stuff. So sitting at an hour and 7 minutes, the interview was littered with gag-worthy moments and quotes from Elliott. Here are a few of the most shocking. He said, I didn't have a whole team to help me. The shade kicked off early in the interview when Elliott discussed her audition tapes for the show. Unlike some of the other girls of the show, Elliott didn't have a whole team to help me. Her submission was much more DIY, and she shares how much of an outsider she's always felt in various drag communities. I really said I had a really long FaceTime with Bob. Now Shepard played a clip of Elliott discussing Simone's drag and commending her for not being overly aggressive, which was the kickoff point for the racist accusations. Because when you say overly aggressive or ratchet or whatever the case is, they feel like that's a microaggression. So she said that they had a long FaceTime with fellow Drag Race alum Bob the Drag Queen. So Roberts kind of broke it down and also told me why it was upsetting and why it could be offensive to someone. I wish that was the reaction I would have gotten instead of, trying to just take me down. I would have loved, because I would know how would I have known that could have been upsetting to someone. That my biggest fear is upsetting people and making people uncomfortable. And so I wish that I could have gotten that response to, hey, this is what this means, but I didn't know. And so I took it upon myself to reach out to a girlfriend of mine who's very close friends with the director of NAACP in Las Vegas. And we did like an hour video of her explaining to me what it could mean to people and why it could be upsetting. And I was trying to fix it. I was trying my best to make things better. But I think when people were so passionate about something like the Drag Race fans, once they've committed their heart and soul to something, there's just no changing it. And so I did love the fact that in the beginning of the show, Joseph was like, this is not a place for hate. Like, you can give your opinion, you can have a difference of opinion, but you don't need to come in and be a damn hater. So I didn't read the comments, but my friend did tell me that he liked the fact that there was a mixture of, positive and negative comments, but people were, for the most part, respectful. And I feel like in that comment or whatever that he meant is that, yeah, I feel like, there's some people that get upset when it's like, oh yeah, if you say certain words that are considered microaggression, but why do we have to sit and explain stuff all the time? I'm like, well, guess what? Welcome to the real fucking world. We unfortunately always have to explain stuff to people who have never experienced the things that we as people of color have experienced. Even if you're a part of the LGBTQ LMNOP community, we experience our own phobias from our own. So it's like, yeah, if you say something that comes across as transphobic and you trying to just be it's just me being funny or whatever the case is. First of all, this is why I don't joke with people that I'm not close friends with. Like if I say a word, like if I say the tranny word, and with my friends, they get it because it's like we're bantering. Oh, she go, hey, faggot, and whatever. And it's like, it's a banter amongst ourselves. But anybody outside of my little circle of friends and bubble where we kiki in a way where we understand that we're bantering amongst each other, I don't do that with outsiders. Because they can try to use that against you, or they can use that in a way where they're trying to put you down or trying to be like, oh, they need to be canceled, or they're a racist, or they're transphobic. And my thing also, when she was talking about with Got Mick, that she goes on that Totally Gorge show, and she's saying stuff that, oh, well, Elliott she didn't mention no names, and she blurted out, but Candy decided to take it upon herself to go, it's Elliott. And it's like, bitch, nobody asked you. But it also felt like to me that Candy was using these opportunities to always try to find a reason to piggyback off of the controversy to go against Elliott because she apparently didn't like her. So we do have that clip that I want to show y'all of her I mean, of the whole controversy surrounding like the comments that she made about Simone's outfit and all the other stuff. And then we'll come back and break down the rest of the interview. Please hold.
Well, let's go into your Wikipedia page because there is a controversy section that I want to start reading. And let's just go by it bullet by bullet. Elliott attracted criticism in January 2021 for describing RuPaul's Drag Race Season 13 winner Simone's drag as Black Girl Magic. That is what she brought, but she did it so eloquently. It wasn't aggressive. It was done with taste. Her remark was accused of being racially insensitive, drawing criticism from the likes of Jada Essence Hall and Candy Muse. I want to play you what was said, and I want to have your reaction to those moments.
Around the start of the season, Elliott got into some hot water, we'll say, for a video where she called Simone your fashion. She said that she liked that your fashion wasn't, quote, aggressive. And she got a lot of flack for that, of people calling her out for a microaggression. Can you walk us through your feelings on that video and the fallout from that and her saying that?
Well, God, where do I go with this? How do I start this? I know what type of person that Elliott is. I know the type of mindset that she has. I'm from the South. We're both from the South. So I know exactly what type of what she was saying when she said that. And it is in a way offensive because my art is my art, and it shouldn't matter if it was aggressive the entire time. Like, none of that matters. It was my art. And for you to say that type of mindset, those types of words, those type of microaggressions are literally what leads to what happened this summer with George Floyd. So my feelings are, at first I wasn't taken aback by it because I was like, oh, maybe she misspoke. But then what really got me was her going online and defending it and saying she was complimenting me. And when people were trying to explain to her what was going on, she still didn't want to hear it or receive it. So at that point, it's kind of like, I'm done. I wish you the best. I really don't have anything against you, as far as I don't wish any ill will against you. But if you're not going to learn anything from it, if you're not going to try to understand what's going on, then there's really nothing I can say or do feel there's really no moving forward for me personally. So I just hope that she one day does get to, there's a place of understanding, because that's some real shit. And those types of things that you say, those little views that people sprout in their head, that leads to more harm to people that look like me, or that look like Candy, or that look like Olivia. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I wish the girl well. I don't have any malice against her, but it's ignorance. And, you can't really reason with that. So those are my thoughts.
Candy, you had also mentioned that there were other microaggressions maybe going on with Elliott during filming. Can you speak more to that? And if that was something that was brought up during filming of the show in the workroom to her?
I think people know that I was very vocal about the way Elliott acted on set certain times off camera. I think people thought, oh, well, why is Drag Race editing these things out? A lot of things weren't said on camera, and it's not Drag Race's fault. A lot of things were done off camera, and I've been very vocal about it, about the microaggressions. And since filming, in our season 13 group chat, I've given her opportunities to apologize, and I've given her opportunities to talk about it. And the only thing I got in return was a block on all social media. So, you can apologize on Twitter and all you want, but it just seems very performative to me, because if you don't have the decency and the audacity to apologize to your cast members that you have offended, then your apologies mean nothing to me. And like I said, I don't wish her any ill will, and I don't want people to bully her online, and because I know how that felt being attacked. But at the same time, if you're not going to learn from the mistakes that you did, then what is the point of you going on a video with the president of the NAACP?
What was
there are just many things that just seem very performative to me, and it's just like, well, girl, you've offended your fans.
Not even just it's performative, and there's a lack of accountability. Right. So where are we supposed to go? And then and to me, you're trying to have people come in and cover for you for what you said. What you said is what you said. That doesn't change any of that. And it doesn't, and you're not taking accountability for it. So then where are we supposed to go? What am I supposed to say to you?
You know, and the funny part about this whole situation is that throughout the entire season, I got called, by the fans, I got called a liar because they were like, oh, well, Candy, you're the only one saying this. Why isn't anyone else speaking up? Well, you know what? Because it's not anyone else's job to speak up. Me as a person of color, there's no reason for you to need proof of what I'm saying is truth or not.
Yeah.
It's like I said, if you don't take accountability, then there's no point of apologizing because you're not changing and you're not going from what you did. So it is what it is.
Hearing that, did you hear that before? Have you heard that before?
No. I haven't heard that before. And what's really upsetting and hurtful about that is the fact that Simone says that she understands what I said and how it was misinterpreted. But then with the lack of communication, she then started to think that it was what it was when she clearly said it wasn't, and she knew it wasn't. I texted her many times after the fact, trying to connect with her and trying to have some understanding and some closure about that. And she never responded. And I was trying to do the right thing. If she wasn't going to respond to me, then I have to seek outside help to try to understand why what was said was upsetting. I mean, it's really hurtful to hear that because, again, when we all got together to film the promos, because they always film the promos after the season wraps, everyone was in my hotel room because they knew I had vodka, and everybody was friends and wanted to, drink with me and whatnot. But if they were so hurt and upset by things that were said or done during the season, why would they want to spend time with me? Why would they want to be my friend? Like, were they just using me? And then whenever it was convenient, they were going to go and trash me online. It just...
Okay. So I want to leave it there because then otherwise we'd be here for the whole hour because I felt like that was just enough. It's like, yeah, with them saying all of that. And here's the thing. The reason why I played that clip is because I had heard this very same story that she said that why is it that, oh yeah, I had alcohol and all of a sudden they were using me because it was convenient for whatever it was that they needed. I had heard this before, even before she even mentioned it on Joseph Shepard's show, among other things, where she also gets into the whole thing about Gottmik and saying that, oh, she said some transphobic stuff, but yeah, Gottmik did not mention her name, but what was it? Candy took it upon herself to bring it up on the show. And I mean, bring it up on social media. And then there was another incident where they mentioned that Tamisha Iman, because she said that them two had become close friends. And remember, Tamisha and Candy got into it infamously on the show where, there was even bitch tracks made from both of them, from their back and forth argument from my friend Mitch Farino. He's the one that did the song with Tamisha and all that. But anyway, so he went, so then, with that whole back and forth thing, Tamisha went and got online and defended Elliott to where Candy felt the need to jump online and do her own IG video where she wanted to debunk everything else. So it's just sort of like, okay, so what is the point of that? We get it. Like, y'all were mentioning these things and y'all were saying that Elliott was this problematic on set. And if she was, then you have a right to call her out. But why, whenever somebody else comes and says, oh, this was not my experience with her, you need to come and be the counter to what this other person said? It's like you were deliberately going out of your way to go against this girl or to really make her out to be this person. And she did say, oh, I don't want her to get bullied and all this other stuff. And I think this is what she also goes on to say in the video that, oh, you didn't want me to be bullied by the fandom, but you kept putting yourself in situations where I ended up getting bullied by you constantly getting on social media and bashing me. And so I was saying, like, you know what? To me, and there were parts of the video where I was like, girl, the way they were saying to me, oh, I had to call the NAACP because I would try to call you and I would text you and I would try to get, if I had come at you in a negative way, which she was saying to Simone or whatever, or Candy. She said she blocked Candy because of the whole bully situation. And then with Simone, she's like, I tried to reach out to her, but she never got back to me. So how am I supposed to get the feedback and the change in so many situations if I can't get a hold of you and talk this out? But then when there would be situations where I would go and be at events, talk about Gottmik now, that, hey girl, how you doing? All this, you know how they do. And then you get on your show, No Gorge, with, your co-host, Valachowski, and you starting to say all this stuff. Trinity Tuck did that same shit a couple of weeks ago, where she got on sibling rivalry and decided to all of a sudden out of the blue come at her in a negative way, talking about, oh, it gave me the heebie-jeebies, whatever the case was. But then, according to Elliott, she was, and this is not something that was said on the show. This is what I heard from somebody, and this is came out of Elliott's mouth to a friend of mine. And she went and said, oh, well, but when I saw her and I went up to her because I was a fan, she was all gracious and nice, which seems to be an ongoing theme that a lot of these queens, and not just queens, but people in this industry, that's why I keep saying there's a lot of fake motherfuckers in this damn industry. When y'all sit up here, give the whole Hollywood hubby, lovey-dovey, kissy, all that bullshit, and then because y'all want a moment and y'all want to go viral because everybody got a damn podcast. At this point, I be saying that because y'all want a moment on y'all shows. Now all of a sudden, I'm problematic. I'm giving you the heebie-jeebies. I give you the ick, but you ain't had that energy when you see me up in the club. So yeah, there was that. And I was like, you know what? So this is why y'all need to just say it like you mean it. If somebody says something offensive, I've always been that way. If somebody says something that is racist, transphobic, homophobic, whatever the case is, I call them out. I've done that before where I've had to call people out on, you know, the bigoted things they said. I don't know if I told y'all this story. Maybe I have, but if you knew, I'm gonna repeat myself. One time when I was in the circus, there was this white kid that was friends with these biracial kids. And their mother also worked there. She was a white woman, but, you know, they're racially ambiguous, whatever the case was. White boy saying an N-word. And I said to him, do not say that in my presence. Well, so-and-so gave me permission. So I don't give a fuck who told you. You will not say that in my presence. So I've always been somebody to speak up. You will not get around and saying that word like it's just water off a duck's back. Or like it's just some regular word that you say in your vernacular or, you know, throughout the day. You don't have the right to be dropping that word. I don't care if we reclaimed it. Yeah, we people of color have reclaimed it. We reclaimed our time and that word, but you don't get to say it. So that's what I feel like what was on that. But of course, because we got to continue on with the rest of the tea from the thing. You know, she said you could be ignorant, but it also doesn't make you a bad person. She admitted that she made mistakes and she wished she was given more grace and understanding rather than condemnation. Said you could absolutely be, you know, I don't want to say uneducated, but uneducated. You cannot know what you're saying and how it affects people, but I also think it's important for people to react a certain way. I mean, I can't tell anyone how to react, especially when it comes to emotions, but I think we should all give each other a little more grace because everyone makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect. And to me, based on what I got off that interview, I just felt like Elliott is somebody who's a people pleaser and has for all her, you know, I mean, she's reiterated it so many times in the interview that, you know, she tried to make friends. And then I guess maybe the way it comes across is that you know, the way she comes across, maybe she comes across as a try-hard and people see through it and they feel like, oh, she's so corny or she's a try-hard and I don't like that and it rubs me the wrong way. Like some people are just like that. And she just doesn't know how to just be herself, the anxiety, all other stuff. Like some people are like that. Some people are weird in that way where it's just like they don't know how to just relax and just be or how to just make friends. Some people have a hard time making friends. But the one thing that I was like, man, this is not sitting right to me. I mean, with me. People thought that she was a Republican and she was a supporter of Donald Trump because a friend of hers got her a private car to take her to Vegas, and the license plate said Trump or whatever on it. And she said her friend paid for it. It was her first time in Vegas. And she was just so happy because it was a fancy weekend. The friend paid for it, whatever the case was. And she just went along with it. So I don't know what the timeline is. Not that I'm excusing the behavior, but I don't know if there's the timeline before Trump was who he is today. And that sort of thing. That doesn't excuse it. But people need to also realize that, yeah, at the time, a lot of people's out here supporting Trump. Remember, he was all over TV with The Apprentice and all that other stuff. And people looked the other way when it came to his problematic shit until he decided to get into politics. And then, you know, we started to see his, you know, he don't care about these damn people. We see what it is. He's trying to cause us divide. He's a racist, all this other stuff. And he is. Because when people like Amber Rose go out here and say he's not a racist, when there's a whole plethora of things throughout the decades, even before I was born, where he's done anti-Black stuff against people, even to the point of trying to get He wanted to take took a whole full page ad in the paper to have those Central Park Five put to death. Now, if that ain't racism, and then denying people the ability to rent in one of his buildings. Then she got in trouble because she went and made a comment about Caitlyn Jenner and dead named her. Because, the Vanity Fair cover, which I think she said, go off Bruce or something or another. But then again, I'd be like, when you a pick me for the community, right? When you somebody that goes against the LGBTQ community and you pandering to the Trumpers, the Republican types or whatever, the ones that actually want to do harm to us because it's not going to affect you. You got money and you're of a higher class, so you're not going to be affected by the things that's going to affect us who are a part of the LGBTQ spectrum. Does that affect, it's not going to affect you. So you can go off and be the coon for the LGBTQ community. So is it wrong to dead name somebody who was basically a pick me for the other side but just that identifies as trans? Why do we have to give them grace? They don't give us grace. But why do we always have to do that when they go low, we go high shit? Like, I'm petty in that way. But that don't make me transphobic. I'm just saying that not everybody, we're not all a monolith. It's just like if there was some gays that was, these log cabin Republicans or these gays out here that are, a Trumper, or want to, or just like a pick me for them people who don't give a damn, who wouldn't spit on your ass if you was on fire, but you looking for acceptance. I'm gonna cuss your ass out too and call you all the derogatory shit. So she said, this is from so many years ago. This is like 10 years ago, and I would have never known how to react to this. 10 years ago, I was like a teenager. I think everybody, when they're teenagers, say stupid things. I would have never known what dead naming was 10 years ago. I would have never known that. We're on a farm. Am I going to get that information? Was there no internet 10 years ago? It was never at a time where we were talking so openly about trans rights and verbiage. And it just was something stupid. Nobody likes the Kardashians. Well, that's a fact. So I thought I was just playing off the dumb Kardashian situation. But I never would have ever want anyone to think that I was transphobic. This is stupid, and I can absolutely see that, but it was stupid teenager stuff. My sister-in-law is trans, and she comes to our house maybe once a month in Portland. It is not something that I would never do to somebody, but then again, didn't understand it. I really didn't understand it. I was just a stupid teenager stuff online. That part did kind of make me cringe because it came across like when you said, my sister-in-law is trans. That feels very like some of my best friends are black when you're a white person. So that kind of did like, oh no, you're not really convincing me with that. I just feel like, you know what? Just say that I'm a product of my upbringing. I came from a small town. We, say a lot of bigoted shit. Now you're a fish out of water, moving to a big city, where there's a lot more diversity, and you're not just being around white, cisgendered, straight folk. And this is the product of that now. So, or then when you know better, you do better. So I think at the end of the day, people just wanted you to take accountability. Then there was a whole thing about the Black Barbie doll saying that she didn't want no Black Barbie, that no, they should never make a Black Barbie. She got in trouble with that. She did answer it and said basically it was, she was doing it for shock value and realized that it's insensitive and compared herself to a comedian. But I think a lot of times people forget that you're not a comedian. So, it goes on and on. This is it's a lot. She, she covered a lot. She talked about how she lost childhood friends because of all the vitriol online, where people basically came at her in a lot of ways over some of the stuff that she said. But I'm gonna just read the Got Mick thing, and then we can get off this because I feel like I've been spending way too much time on this thing because it's a whole break now. So Shepard played a clip of Violet Chachki and Got Mick discussing a cast member who said transphobic things. Candy Muse responded to the clip on TikTok commenting, "It's Elliott." This is what I was telling you about before. He directly asked Elliott. He said the transphobic slur when talking to Got Mick. She said, "I would never say that." She said, "Then again, I knew none of this. Gottmik never once said to me, 'Hey, I don't want to talk about that,' or 'I'm uncomfortable.' I knew none of this until this interview came out." So that was like a year later. So you're just holding on to that for like a year. I just don't know about it. I just didn't know about it. It was shocking to me because I thought that I had these bonding moments with God Mick and that we had gotten to know each other. And I was in total shock about that because I truly felt like, excuse me, we were becoming friendly with each other. She also said, I couldn't believe that. And then when even Violet says, is she just stupid and doesn't realize what she's saying? If that were the case, but how would I know if I were making someone uncomfortable? Like if you're smiling and continue to talk to me, how do I know if I'm making someone uncomfortable? I would never want to make someone uncomfortable. It's just one of those weird situations where sure, it shouldn't be God Mick's job to police me in what I say, but also how do I know if I'm upsetting someone if you don't say anything to me? Elliott added that after the podcast premiered, she reached out to God Mick, who responded, I thought we were good, and said, there was no point, rhyme or reason to what he was saying. It was just kind of like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. Like, it's just, I didn't have any genuine concern or care about how it would affect me. I mean, when you're in the top 4 and you're a fan favorite on the show, you don't really think about the other girls, especially when you have as many followers as they have and say things like that. They don't realize that there's an army of Drag Race fans that are gonna go and attack that person. And this they do realize that, yeah, when you are a person in a higher position, that is something that you're going to get. But I always say that, who knows, maybe God make us someone who's non-confrontational. Like there's people that are like that. And it's like, yeah, but I feel like at the end of the day, sometimes you have to stand up for yourself, regardless of your level of comfort or discomfort. And it's like, if you feel a certain way about something and somebody says something in a way that affects you and hurts your feelings, speak up. Because otherwise, how are people going to know that what they're saying is offensive? Because, you know, like I said before, like when it comes to certain friends of mine, I joke around and we use slurs and all those other things against each other. And that's our comfort level. There are some people that don't, that if you're not for it, let me know. And it's like, okay, I won't say that ever again, because I've done that with people where it's like, you don't know me well enough to even use that term or that phrase with me. But if we have a comfort level where we could just say inappropriate shit with each other, then we do that amongst each other. But yeah, you can't be going around just if what they said was true, that you can't be using the T word or the F word or whatever the case is, because it all depends, like I said, on people's comfort level. So if y'all have not seen that full episode of Joseph Shepard's, show, definitely check that out on his website. The Exposed episode. I'm glad he did it. I'm glad he spoke out. It's gotten how many 19K views so far in a day. So and this is from his fourth season doing that. So shout out to Joseph. And I heard some tea too. So child, word on the curb is this is new inside tea, because like I broke the story about y'all, like y'all knew for weeks that this Elliott with 2 T's Exposed episode was coming. Word on the street is when y'all go to DragCon, Mama Rue is doing meet and greets again. And she ain't did that since before the pandemic. But you ain't hear that from me. But anyway, if y'all saw the episode, good, bad, or indifferent, let me know what y'all. I would play more clips, but like I said, this whole segment probably would have went on for an hour. But let me know. Just definitely check out the episode. It's definitely a must watch. And let me know what y'all thought of the episode in the comments down below. Okay, so we have a lot of comments. Speaking of which, let's go up to some of them. Yeah, I think that too. Like, I feel like it's crucial that I don't think that your generation even understands how much at stake the country is. You do not want Trump to get back in office again. I know, like, they were like, oh yeah, but this time he said, no, you had your opportunity to do what needed to be done when you was in office. You don't care. And we've seen the little things that have been coming out in the media, how you don't care, and you've shown that you don't care. But his fan base will blindly vote for him still. They say Amber Rose has the younger crowd where Candace Owens doesn't. Exactly, and that's why they chose her. But I'm like, what younger crowd? Because I don't know anybody that checks for Amber Rose like that. They check for Jocelyn Hernandez before they check for her. Or even Natalie Nunn over on the Zeus Network. She said, I'm here. I said, yeah, that's what scares me. Hillary kind of got the short end of the stick because she was a woman. That's why I'm even more skeptical if Kamala has a chance. Elliott got such a nasty edit, technically being first out and then editing her as the girl who got the boot and then joined the winner circle. Then the winner circle treated her like trash. Yeah, they definitely were like acting like it very much felt like the Heathers versus the Boogers. Like it was definitely given that in that, except Elliott was the lone booger. And so I said to me, yep, she did. Tamisha Iman stood up for her. I've never heard anything nice about. We're gonna move on. Because you would be correct. So it was like Elliott not even trying to understand what she said and why it was wrong is what turned a lot of people off to her. And I was like, that was another issue too. Like, to me, it's like, I will give you the grace that you ask for if I'm like, okay, what you said is offensive and you shouldn't say those certain words. Please don't say that. Now, if I'm going to come at you and tell you this, but you're going to stand 10 toes down on your ignorance, then I'm like, okay, well, now we done. Because if you're not willing to listen and learn, then I'm not fucking with you. I ain't got nothing to say. You just continue to be in your ignorant bag, and I'm not messing with you no more. So if it comes at it from that standpoint, it's like, yeah, I'm not putting in the energy, but I will give people the benefit of the doubt and the grace if they say something ignorant. So like I said, why would you tell someone it's good to see you when you don't actually like someone? It is, and like I said, there's a lot of fake and phonies in this industry. He said, well, yeah, Gottmik said all that. Then Candy said it's Elliott to make sure people knew who they were. Exactly. She was like, I'm trying to give it, like she was telling her story, but she was like, I'm not going to be messy about it. And Candy was being messy. And you know what I was taking from it in that season? I feel like because Candy was getting so much hate on her season based off the way she was acting, jumping in everybody's business, trying to be the spokesperson, trying to be the Norma Ray of the season, and just be all up in the thing and wanted to take the mantle and be the loud one so she can get her screen time or whatever, and was irritating a lot of the people on the show, including Tanisha, who was nice, who had the balls to stand up to her, but it's probably because she older and she don't put up with no shit from nobody. And Candy thought, because she louder from New York, that makes you right. No, it just makes you the Nene Leakes of the season, just annoying and loud. But Gottmik probably was just like, I don't want to. I want to tell the story, but I'm going to like keep the thing to myself. But Candy was being messy. It was like, oh, I'm gonna just say it so that we get it riled up. But I feel like, to the point I was trying to make, because I almost forgot. I feel like because she was bullied so much on her season, or dragged so harshly in the comments, and people trolling her on social media and going at her so hard, I feel like that may have been the thing. So she's like, oh, well, hurt people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go at Elliott and try to bring up all this stuff so y'all can go at her more than you can go and take the reflection off me. So that's kind of like what I was feeling watching that. She was doing it for shock value and then realized it was insensitive, which is like a lot of times, a lot of people go on social media. Like, I guess when you only have like 12 people reading your stuff, and a lot of times people say stuff, they don't think that a lot of people are watching. But you have to realize when you go on one of the biggest platforms in the world, people are going to bring up your old tweet. Case in point, the guy from, what do you call it? The one that's running for vice president, which I saw something where they spilled his tea with talking about, oh, I think it was Kevin Ortega Rojas was talking about, what he said. Oh, they said the potential VP doesn't support trans rights. So stop calling him by his chosen name. So to get back at him, because they said he was born James Donald Bowman. He later changed his name to his mother's third husband's last name, Hamel. Later, he changed his name again, taking his grandparents' last name of Vance, and gave himself the middle name David. He became Catholic and took a saint's name, Augustine. So he been changing his name more than the trans people. So his name is James Donald David Augustine Bowman Hamel Vance. Okay, you got more names in your name. You got more names than a Puerto Rican. Because, you know, sometimes the Latinos, they be walking around with like 12 damn names, you know, attached to them. So now you're going by all these damn names. So I was like, yeah, we should probably troll him by calling him all them damn names. So they said Johnny Depp and Will Smith spotted yachting together. Child. And I heard Johnny Depp got a young girlfriend, but that was a surprise. Everybody dating young. And that's why I saw like even Tobey Maguire pushing 50 dating a damn 21-year-old. And it says, so Elliott wants us to believe she's sweet and innocent and has no idea how the world works. Yeah, you can't be that damn dense. But I'm glad that she came out and said her piece. Now it's up to everybody to be like, okay, do y'all believe her? Do you forgive her? Do we move on? Should she be allowed back into the graces of the drag community? I feel like, look, she ain't did nothing as bad as Sherry Pie. So if she ain't do something that drastic, and she can get out here and still do her shows and perform and stuff, I say, you know what? Let her do her thing. Let her make her money. And let's all move on, because I feel like, you know what, 3 seasons later, we done moved on to the next thing. Now we got a 2-part of All Stars coming up, which I heard y'all gonna be bored this week with this new episode. Because what I'm hearing is like, it's basically just a Tic Tac episode. So RuPaul basically is going to be probably very little to no drag. And it's just going to be Ru sitting down having a heart-to-heart with the girls. I'm like, nobody will watch that. Not a whole episode. We're going to be bored. And it's 8 of them. So they got to go. Like, I was like, I hope that's not true, but that's what I heard. And then we get the big finale in the following week. So I was like, whatever. Okay, so on that note, we are at the end of the show. If y'all don't have any more questions, comments, and concerns, I'm about to log off because I'm getting hungry. We was up here for 3 hours and a half. And I think the half part came from, the breakdown of the Elliott with 2 T's. So yeah, definitely check out that episode when y'all can. Thank you. I appreciate it. Please do me a solid, hit that if you haven't already. Hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification bell so that when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I'm going to be busy tomorrow because apparently I'm doing a Foo Fighters concert. I was trying to remember who was it that I'm supposed to be, who's showing. It's actually Foo Fighters. I had to look it up. So yeah, they're going to be in town tomorrow. They're doing a show, and I'll be working it. So yeah, so I should be back on Thursday. And do the show. I mean, quiet as it's kept, I think it's pretty obvious that she's going to win. To me, it's like, it's a full-on setup as the way it is. And I think that's kind of been irritating to the fans, that they feel like that they're going to win. I did hear, I think it was Candy that mentioned it, or someone or another, that they said they think that it's going to be between Angeria and Got Mick. I'm like, no. As much as I like Angeria, and I've heard great things about Angeria, I don't see Angeria winning. I just feel like the way they set up this season, it's definitely going to be Roxy. Like, to me, it just feel like the way they set it up, especially because, like I said many times before, season 5, the way she played dirty in that season with Jinx Monsoon. And like I always said, like, my biggest regret when I interviewed Roxy during the finale of her season was that the way she treated Jinx. And I just didn't like the way that, I got too wrapped up in the show. I started turning to them damn fans, and I was very cold to her when it comes down to it. But I would love to see Angeria win. I like Angeria a lot. But based on, I just feel like story-wise, the way that the production and stuff is doing stuff, they're trying to make it seem like this is a great redemption for Roxy. And Roxy had her redemption during All Stars, but she was on there. The problem is that the redemption arc was good, but she was sucking at the challenges. And she got carried all the way to the end yet again by Alaska Talks until RuPaul finally stepped in the Final 4 and was like, sis, sashay away. So this time, it just feels like when she's come back on the show, she's a fully realized queen. And I saw that she did like what was it? She did a recent commercial that I saw on her page where she basically rejudged the rap that she did on that finale, which was everything, by the way. I love her rap on that song. Where Todrick was losing his shit during that scene, and she was giving hairography and everything. But because you can't read the doll. So she went and what was it? So I just feel like the way it is this season, it feels like, oh, she doesn't have to rely on Alaska and Detox and all that anymore. She's really pulled herself up and shown that she could excel at the challenges without being carried. So I feel like producers and them might go in that direction because it makes for a good story rather than, okay, Angeria was just fierce and that whole situation. But I don't know. I just feel like, can you imagine what they try to pull like they did before and do another tie? Where this will feel like a real tie versus, to me, I feel like that Trinity Monet tie situation was a pander to the fandom because people was getting mad and they felt like, oh, well, in the beginning, yeah, y'all had all these people of color winning, but now the racist fandom is getting on there and now y'all want to just keep giving it to the white girls and not giving it to the people that was well deserved. So I felt like that last minute tie situation was a cop out to cool the fandom. Y'all can't be doing that. Y'all got to do the show. If y'all, the minute y'all start pandering, then the show loses its essence, in my opinion. I agree. Roxy is definitely the production plant of the season. That's what I say. It feels very much like, as much as I love Roxy and she has definitely pulled her own weight and proven herself, but it needs to be based off of like consistency in the challenge. But they be so inconsistent in regards of what they come up with on this show. I can't follow. Because Ed Jury is definitely a versus the world winner. Mm-hmm. And Ed Sheeran is, so you feel like she might do a versus like if she gets dogged out, if they have her on a season of, it could be UK versus the world, because we waiting for Canada and then we waiting for the global one. So now we know when it's coming. We got Canada versus the world coming out next month, and we have Global All Stars coming up Paramount Plus. So don't get rid of your subscriptions. It says someone just interrupted the Republican convention by showing where is the Epstein. Ooh. Where is it? Look, I said we're gonna have to do the job that the media is not going to do, and people got to remind them. I was like, "Where's that Epstein list?" Like all of a sudden, all this stuff has been such a distraction. Not enough people talk about Project 2025, and not enough people talk about that Epstein list. And it's funny how it's convenient. All this stuff came up with this shooting and everything when Trump started losing traction because that Epstein list came out with Trump being on the list, diddling with them children, allegedly. But yeah, because the first three All-Stars was white and Monet was added to have a black queen there. Yeah, that's why I said it was just like, it just felt very, okay, so now the Drag Race, you got a lot of people of color winning. First season was an African from Cameroon. Second season was someone who was indigenous or, Pacific Islander. Like, it was two black girls. I forgot, Tyra Sanchez. Season 2. Season 3, it was Raja. And then it just kept going on and on and on. And then, a lot of people were complaining. And they said, and all the runners up on All Stars 3 were POC and the white girl won. So yeah, there was a lot of the complaints and stuff that was happening at that time. So with all the complaints and stuff going on social media, I see how they gave it. I'll be paying attention, and clearly the producers and everybody be paying attention to social media too. But you can't allow the trolls and stuff to dictate. It is like let people win on their own merit and really show based off of the talent that they deserve it, and not just be playing up this whole production crap. But it's funny because I was saying, do I have Drag Race fatigue? It's the same. I think it's the same argument that people said that do they have superhero fatigue? No, I have mediocrity fatigue, and I say the same thing about Drag Race. I love watching drag on TV, so I'll watch all the drag shows if they're good. Like right now, I'm watching Drag Race France, and I have not tuned into Mexico yet. I'm gonna get around to that, but like we got All Stars still. I even got to get back into watching the regular season. Excuse me, of Drag Race. I'm gonna be up to the season with Alexis Michelle. So that'd be the season that I'd have to get back into. But yeah, I just get mediocrity fatigue. It's the same thing with superhero movies. If you put out a good superhero movie, I'll watch it. And one's coming out, and it's called Deadpool and Wolverine. But anyway, I I said I was getting off this line 8 minutes ago, but of course we got into the whole conversation about Drag Race, which is warranted because it was to answer the questions of the stuff that I said. So yeah, I'll probably be back on Thursday. I was gonna go to the gym today, but child, it was like this heat was so goddamn disrespectful. I'm like, I could drink all the water in the world, I would still be hot. I still have an attitude and all this other stuff, and I want to deal with that. So anyway, I'll be back sometime this week. Tomorrow I won't be able to come on, but most likely I'll come on and do a show on Thursday and bring out the latest in celebrity news and gossip. Once again, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and notification bell. I love you all for watching. Until next time, and thank you all for your support. Until next time, ciao, darling.